Chapter 547. Prince Qing laughed complacently as he spoke. However, he didn't know that tiny whirlpools were forming in the depths of Prince Dongli's eyes. Those vortexes were mixed in the depths of the faint gray eyes, transmitting all of his words. In the grove, Luo Qingtong's eyes flickered. When she received the message from the martial royal realm expert, she used a special method to contact the brain worm in Prince Dongli's body. Instead of killing the Eastern Fence King directly, he made him into a chess piece to guard the Eastern Fence country. It was indeed the right decision. Now, the royal family of Tianyu had come knocking on her door. If it weren't for this, she wouldn't have known that they were secretly hatching such a scheme. Tisk, tisk. Little Pig clicked his tongue in Luo Qingtong's sleeve. The royal family of Tianyu really deserved to die. This woman hadn't even gone after them yet, but they came knocking on her door to die. They even wanted to ruin the Luo family by slandering their reputation. Didn't they know that the Luo family was this woman's reverse scale? The royal family of Tianyu must be tired of living. Luo Qingtong crushed the communication light in her hand. She told Prince Dongli that he had pretended to agree to her request and then cut off the communication with him. The royal family of Tianyu? Good. You're really good. Luo Qingtong's words came out of nowhere. Little Overlord Yuan and the others didn't know what was going on and looked at her in confusion. Boss, what's wrong? Who made you angry? Little Overlord Yuan asked when he sensed the cold aura around Luo Qingtong. Nothing. Luo Qingtong's voice was cold. She was just disgusted by the shameless behavior of some people. The royal family of Tianyu was good. They wanted to destroy the Luo family. Let's see who will be the one to destroy who. Luo Qingtong's eyes were cold. She looked at Ling Yu, and Ling Tianhan and asked, how loyal is Duke Ling's mansion to the royal family of Tianyu? The moment she said that, Ling Yu, and Ling Tianhan were both shocked. Su Xiaoxiao and Little Overlord Yuan were also very surprised. They didn't know why Luo Qingtong suddenly asked this question. However, they could tell that she wasn't just asking casually. Ling Yu stopped Ling Yu and looked at Luo Qingtong cautiously. Duke Ling's mansion isn't loyal to the royal family of Tianyu. He looked at Luo Qingtong and said carefully, before Tianyu was established, Duke Ling's mansion was already an important official of the previous dynasty. Our relationship with Tianyu's royal family was only mutually beneficial. Tianyu's royal family relies heavily on us, but at the same time, they're also very cautious. Duke Ling's mansions families mansions TS families is S's mansion. T.S. Emperor of Yu's. TTS Princesses Yu's sit was because Emperor of Tianyu allowed the royal family to suppress Duke Ling's mansion. The royal family of Tianyu has a lot to do with the royal family of Tianyu. Ling Tianhan said directly. He had never said this to an outsider. But Ling Tianhan had a hunch that Luo Qingtong's question was unusual. If he didn't tell the truth, it wouldn't be good for him and Duke Ling's mansion. That was why he didn't hesitate to say it out loud. Fine. Luo Qingtong's voice was cold. In that case, I'll give Duke Ling's mansion an opportunity. Chapter 548. Pfft. Little Brat Yuan was drinking water at the moment. Hearing this, he spat out all the water in his mouth. Oh my god. What did boss say? He stared at Luo Qingtong in shock. Oh my god. Boss must be kidding, right? This was 2F** king shocking. This was an empire. It wasn't some low-level, middle-level, or high-level country. It was an emperor-level country. Conferred by the sacred dynasty. A super country with a title. To become the ruler of such an empire, the imperial family of Tianyu had to have a strong foundation. Not only did they have numerous experts, but they also had several martial emperors. More importantly, they had to be conferred and recognized by the sacred dynasty. Now boss was asking Ling Tianhan if he was willing to replace them. Could it be that boss wanted to destroy the imperial family of Tianyu? No way. Little Brat Yuan's eyes widened. Ling Yu, and Ling Tianhan were also completely stunned. Especially Ling Tianhan. Although he had guessed that Luo Qingtong asked him this question for an ulterior motive, he did not expect Luo Qingtong to say something so shocking. Replace the imperial family of Tianyu? Become the ruler of this vast territory and fertile land of the empire? As Ling Tianhan imagined such a scene, he swallowed hard. What do you think? Luo Qingtong looked at him indifferently. Ling Tianhan, you and Ling Yu, are half of my people, so I'm willing to give you and Duke Ling's mansion a chance. If you agree, I'll support Duke Ling's mansion to take the throne. If you don't agree, it doesn't matter. At most, she could find someone else. There were too many people who wanted to replace the imperial family of Tianyu. With Luo Qingtong's skills, it was easy for her to control the other party. However, Duke Ling's mansion was in the best situation in all aspects. Ling Yu, and Ling Tianhan were also on her side, so Luo Qingtong was willing to give them a chance. After all, it was too troublesome to control an empire. Luo Qingtong didn't have the time and energy to do so, nor was she interested in it. It would be best if Duke Ling's mansion could take over the Tianyu Empire. What Luo Qingtong wanted was for Tianyu's royal family to fall from the clouds. Under such circumstances, it didn't matter who was promoted. Moreover, as long as the people of Duke Ling's mansion weren't stupid, they should know that he could destroy the Tianyu Empire and help them ascend to the throne. Naturally, it would be easier to destroy them. However, Luo Qingtong believed that with Ling Yu, and Ling Tianhan around, Duke Ling's mansion would not make such a stupid choice. If it weren't for the sake of the siblings, she wouldn't have given this path to heaven to the people of Duke Ling's mansion. Ah. Agree. Of course he had to agree. Only a fool wouldn't agree to such a good thing. Ling Yu finally reacted and immediately cried out. Haha. In the future, I will be a princess. Let's see if you and Shui can still be arrogant in front of me. At that time, I'll definitely vent my anger. She always used her identity to suppress me. Thinking of this, Ling Yu laughed cheerfully, revealing her Mrs. Temper. Little Overlord Yuan and the others looked at her speechlessly. Did she agree to such a big deal just because of this? But then again, if it were them, they would definitely agree too. No one doubted Luo Qingtong's words. The latter had already conquered them with her performance in the mysterious land of Kaiyuan. Chapter 549. Okay. Ling Tianhan nodded without hesitation. I'll contact father and grandfather immediately. But Ling Tianhan frowned. They naturally believed in Luo Qingtong and knew that she definitely had the ability to destroy Tianyu's royal family. After all, not to mention Luo Qingtong's terrifying strength and ability, the man who protected them and Luo Qingtong in the Kaiyuan Mystery Territory was enough to destroy the entire Tianyu Empire countless times. But they knew this, but the people of Duke Ling's mansion didn't. Ling Tianhan looked at Luo Qingtong with some difficulty, not knowing if she was willing to reveal that person's identity. Luo Qingtong could tell that he was in a difficult position. She thought about it and knew what he was worried about. She said indifferently, just tell your father and the others that evil Dr. Gui Tong wants to destroy Tianyu's royal family. Ask them if they're willing to ally with her. If they're willing. Luo Qingtong's lips curled up. Then your crippled right hand can be healed. Pfft. When Luo Qingtong said this, Yuan little tyrant spat out the mouthful of water he had just drunk. Heavens have mercy on him, he really was dying of thirst in the little forest. But he was so shocked by his boss that he spat out a mouthful of water. He tried hard to suppress the shock in his heart, but when he heard Luo Qingtong's words, he spat out the water again. He fiercely wiped his face, looked at the water bag in his hand, and said with grief and indignation, "Come on. Boss, what other shocking words do you have to say? Let's do it at once. I can still hold on. Otherwise, if this continued, he would really die of thirst." Haha. Seeing him like this, Su Xiaoxiao and the others couldn't help but laugh. Even Ling Tianhan and Ling Yu, who were shocked by Luo Qingtong's words, laughed. Evil Dr. Guitong? Ling Tianhan looked at Luo Qingtong, his eyes shining brightly. Luo Qingtong was actually the evil Dr. Ghost Eye. His right hand could be healed. Ling Tianhan's heart was thumping up and down, as if he was sitting on clouds. He did not know how to describe it. Yes. Luo Qingtong nodded indifferently. How else do you think I brought you out of the Kai Yuan mystic realm? How did that light door appear? When she said this, everyone suddenly remembered. Luo Qingtong's method of drawing that door of light was exactly the same as evil Dr. Guitong's. However, at that time, their minds were focused on defending against the dead souls. In addition, the door of light was opened by Yi Qianxian, so they had forgotten about this. Ling Yu jumped up in joy. That's awesome. Big brother, there's a cure for your hand. Yes. Ling Tianhan nodded his head, his heart filled with unspeakable joy. Then, he immediately contacted his father and grandfather. Knowing that Ling Tianhan's hand could be cured, and that the person who did it was the famous evil Dr. Guitong, Duke Ling and the others agreed to form an alliance with Luo Qingtong without hesitation. And he promised that when Luo Qingtong attacked, he would do his best to support her. The army of the Tianyu Empire would not be a hindrance to her. The imperial family of the Tianyu Empire would be completely isolated in the imperial city. After getting the confirmation from Duke Ling's mansion, Luo Qingtong, Little Overlord Yuan and the others rushed back to Dongli State. Chapter 550. At the same time, in Dongli Palace, Prince Cheng and the others were still waiting for King Dongli's response. The latter had already received instructions from Luo Qingtong. He nodded pretentiously and said indignantly, "Of course. Your Highnesses, you don't know how domineering the Luo clan is. Especially that Luo Qingtong. She is so arrogant that she destroyed the 3 armies of Dongli. She doesn't respect me at all. If it weren't for the imperial family, I would have razed the Luo clan to the ground." King Dongli's words were harsh and ruthless. Prince Cheng and the others knew how he felt about the Luo clan. They also knew that he had done something to the Luo clan before, but Luo Qingtong retorted. Prince Cheng nodded and said, "Okay, in that case." Before he could finish, King Dongli's tone suddenly changed. "But your Highnesses, this is no small matter. Luo Qingtong was the future wife of the Empire's 5th prince. If you want me to do this, I'm more than willing to do it. But you have to give me a token from the imperial family to prove that the imperial family asked me to do it. Otherwise, I can't bear the wrath of the 5th prince. I don't dare to do it." It was clear that King Dongli was afraid that he would become the scapegoat to take the blame. Prince Cheng and the others didn't doubt him. "Okay." The martial emperor old man behind Prince Cheng said, "This is the coiling dragon jade pendant of the imperial family. Only the core members of the imperial family are allowed to wear it. There are no more than 12 of them in the imperial family. Each of them symbolizes absolute authority. Take it and no one will question it. This is not an order from the imperial family." As he spoke, he handed over the jade pendant in his hand. King Dongli hurriedly took it and said, "Okay. Please rest assured, your Highnesses, I will definitely take care of this matter properly for you." "Okay." The martial emperor old man replied in a low voice. He closed his eyes and pretended to sleep. "All right, since that's the case, you can go and prepare. We also need to prepare well. Tomorrow, we will go to the Luo family and pay a visit to that old Master Luo," Prince Cheng said in a deep voice. Since they were here to catch the traitor, they naturally couldn't appear suddenly for no reason. Otherwise, wouldn't they be telling everyone that this scene was arranged by them? Prince Cheng and the others had already made up their minds. This time, they came in early to discuss this matter with the king of Easternly Imperial Palace. Now that the matter was settled, they could enter the city with great fanfare tomorrow. As for the purpose, naturally, it was to present the betrothal gifts to the Luo clan for the 5th prince. Previously, Yuan Ma had said that he would marry Luo Qingtong when she was 16 years old. At that time, Emperor Tianyu and the others didn't agree, feeling that Luo Qingtong wasn't worthy of Yuwenma. Now, he was using this as an excuse. Although Luo Qingtong was not yet 16 years old, she was almost there. There was nothing wrong with sending the betrothal gifts in advance. At that time, they could justifiably stay in Wingay's city and plan a good show. The group left at once. Early the next morning, the sound of gongs and drums could be heard outside Wingay's city. A 10-mile-long procession of people entered the city. Chapter 551. In the Luo family's courtyard, the men from Evil Valley had been summoned back along with the Luo family's soldiers who were training in the Nine Witch Mountain Range. Ever since Luo Qingtong's request to abandon their cultivation and recultivate, the Luo family's soldiers' talents had improved tremendously. With the various elixirs that Luo Qingtong had left behind for them, and with the protection of the people from the heavenly Evil Valley, they were able to travel freely in the Jiaowu mountain range. They almost turned the place into a training garden for the Luo family. In the process, the men from Evil Valley had made a name for themselves in the Nine Witch Mountain Range. Everyone knew that a powerful force had appeared in the Nine Witch Mountain Range. All the forces who entered the Nine Witch Mountain Range had to be wary of them. The countries near the Jiaowu mountain range were even more fearful of the Evil Valley. In this period of time, with the help of Luo Qingtong's elixirs and their training in the Nine Witch Mountain Range, they had quickly increased their strength to the point where they had not abandoned their cultivation. Old Master Luo's strength had also broken through the threshold of the Martial Lord realm, which he had not been able to break through for a long time. He had directly entered the Martial King realm. At this moment, he was already a Martial King realm expert. At this moment, the men from the Luo family were puzzled when they heard the sound of drums and gongs outside. What's going on? The sound seems to be directed at us. The men from the Luo family had been summoned back hastily. Before they could catch their breaths, they heard a burst of festive sounds outside. Old Master Luo was in the inner room. When he heard the sounds, he immediately frowned. At this moment, a voice came from outside. Prince Qing of the Tianyu imperial family is here to present a betrothal gift to the Luo family. Old Master Luo, please show yourself. Grandpa Luo's face darkened as soon as he heard that. Scram! He roared furiously. It's those bastards from the Tianyu imperial family. How dare they present a betrothal gift? Did the royal family of Tianyu really turn a deaf ear to his words about breaking off the engagement? Old Master Luo strode out of the room. All of you, get your weapons ready. Old Master Luo came from the military and had the temperament of a boorish man. After all these years as the Marquis of the Jingua Kingdom, he had restrained himself a lot. Now that he was provoked by someone from Tianyu's royal family, his temper flared up again. When he was in the imperial palace of Tianyu Empire, he dared to point at the Empress of Tianyu and curse her. There was no way he would give any face to the royal family of Tianyu. The heavenly Evil Valley and the Luo family's Iron Army also knew the intentions of those people outside. Their faces were even longer than Grandpa Luo's. Those dregs of Tianyu's imperial family are asking for a beating. Is our family's eldest miss someone they can marry just because they want to? A bunch of ungrateful bastards. Why don't you take a piss and look in the mirror to see what kind of person you are? The Luo family's Iron Army was filled with anger. Needless to say, the people from Evil Valley were even more shocked. Was their master someone the royal family of Tianyu could covet? Even Blackfield's Ming Zun could only lower his head in front of his master. These people from Tianyu's royal family were really shameless. Crash. The group of people followed behind Old Man Luo and stormed out of the room. Smash it. Old Master Luo opened the door and saw many red boxes parked outside. His eyes were about to burst into flames. He didn't care about Prince Cheng and the others standing at the front. He waved his hand and ordered. Chapter 552. Yes, sir. The Luo clan's Iron Army received the order and rushed out of the Luo clan's gate. The group of people rushed to the pile of betrothal gifts placed in front of the Luo family's gate like wolves and tigers. They raised their hands and smashed them directly. Wait, stop. How dare you? Seeing Grandfather Luo come out, Prince Ching cleared his throat and was about to say a few polite words. Unexpectedly, Grandfather Luo ignored them and ordered his men to smash the betrothal gifts. If the Luo clan really smashed the betrothal gifts in front of so many people in Wingay's city, the imperial family of Tianyu would lose face. Prince Chang's face was ashen as he hurriedly shouted for them to stop. However, this wasn't the Tianyu Empire or the imperial city, but the Luo clan in the eastern fence. The Luo clan's soldiers wouldn't listen to him. Following his shout, the Luo clan's soldiers rushed into the betrothal gifts procession. Stop them. Don't let them smash the betrothal gifts, Prince Chang said in exasperation. Fortunately, they had ulterior motives. The people carrying the betrothal gifts were all members of the Imperial Army's ferocious Tiger Guard. This was an elite unit belonging to Tianyu's imperial family. Even the lowest soldier was a peak Grand General. Seeing the people of the Luo family's Iron Army charge over, and then seeing their extremely pitiful cultivation, the Mang Tiger Guard elites sneered in disdain. They raised their hands and attacked the group of Luo family's Iron Guards. However, just as they were about to attack, bang bang bang. The group of Luo family's Iron soldiers revealed disdainful smiles on their faces. In an instant, they pulled out small and exquisite guns from their bodies. Bang bang bang. The elite ferocious Tiger Guards did not expect the Luo clan's Iron Army to be hiding such a powerful weapon. In an instant, they screamed and fell to the ground one by one. Some of the unluckier ones were directly hit in the heart, head, or other vital points, losing their lives in an instant. Some of the luckier ones had their vital points penetrated and fell to the ground screaming. Ah! In an instant, a group of elite Mang Tiger Guard soldiers at the peak of the Martial General realm and even the Martial Lord realm were lying on the ground, howling in pain. The ground was a mess, and blood was flowing everywhere. It was a perfect match for those festive boxes of betrothal gifts. This sudden turn of events stunned the onlookers of Wingay's city. Oh my god! This was simply amazing. The Luo clan's guards actually won against Tianyu's royal family. And it was an instant victory? Oh my god! While the crowd was dumbfounded, the Luo clan's Iron Army rushed in and smashed the betrothal gifts. As he smashed, he laughed coldly and disdainfully at the Mang Tiger Guards who were screaming miserably on the ground. Humph! A bunch of idiots. You want to fight with me? Seeing their actions, Prince Cheng, who had been confused by the turn of events, came back to his senses. How dare you? You deserve to die. Seeing that more than half of the betrothal gifts had been smashed, Prince Cheng's face turned green and white in anger. In an instant, he leaped into the air and charged toward the Luo clan's army. These people deserve to die. However, as soon as he moved, a voice rang out. Bang bang bang. One bullet after another flew toward him. Chapter 553. Prince Cheng was caught off guard. He didn't expect the Luo clan's Iron Army to have such powerful weapons. What are these things? He watched in shock as the bullets flew toward him. He didn't feel anything when the Luo clan's Iron Army fought against the elite soldiers of the Hmong Guards. Now that he was facing these bullets, he realized that these weapons didn't carry any power, nor did they have the slightest fluctuation of spiritual energy. These weren't spiritual weapons? He was dumbfounded. Why were they so powerful? The speed at which these bullets flew over was comparable to that of an ordinary mystic-grade weapon. Without any power, how did they come to be so fast? And their terrifying power. Bang! 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 Before Prince Cheng could figure it out, the bullets hit him in an instant. Even though he was a pinnacle martial royal realm expert, he was still hit by this wave of attacks. He spat out blood and flew back dozens of meters. Dong! Prince Cheng's body slammed heavily on the ground. His entire body was covered in bruises and bruises. His entire body was swollen as if it was filled with air. His face, which could be considered handsome, was instantly beaten until it looked like a pig's head. If he wasn't strong enough, this wave of attacks would have been enough to kill him. Even so, he was sprawled on the ground and couldn't get up for a long time. Oh my God! Gasps came from all around. The people who were watching the show saw Prince Cheng and the Humong guards beaten up like this. It was as if they saw a fantasy world. What the F***ck, is this world a fantasy? Did they get the outcome of the matter wrong? Under normal circumstances, it shouldn't be the Luo clan's people who wanted to smash the betrothal gifts but were stopped by Prince Cheng and the others. However, the Luo clan's people were lying on the ground moaning in pain by the imperial family of Tianyu. The imperial family of Tianyu displayed the demeanor of an imperial country's imperial family and continued to force the betrothal gifts. What was going on now? Everyone's eyes widened. Many of them rubbed their eyes again and again. Only then did they confirm that they hadn't seen wrongly. The people who were beaten up like pigs and lying on the ground moaning in pain were really from the imperial family of Tianyu. Prince Cheng was so humiliated that he almost fainted when he saw the disbelief in the eyes of the people around him. What a disgrace! It was a great humiliation. A group of people had come to deliver the betrothal gifts, but they were beaten up by the other party who had accepted the betrothal gifts. If word got out, the royal family would lose all face. You people from the Luo clan are too much. Prince Cheng struggled to stand up and shouted angrily, "Our imperial family of Tianyu came all the way here to present the betrothal gifts. Old Master Luo, how can your Luo family do this? What's wrong with the Luo family?" Old Master Luo glared at him. "Our Luo clan was too lenient on you. Hurry up and take these lousy betrothal gifts and scram as far as you can. I don't care about this marriage. Our Luo clan doesn't need your Tianyu imperial family to come here and offer us a betrothal gift. I don't know who it was that schemed to kill my granddaughter, and now you want to marry her? Our Luo family isn't that cheap. You can do whatever you want. Get the hell out of here. Otherwise, I'll kill you right here and now." Chapter 554. Ka ka ka. At the same time, the sound of the triggers being pulled could be heard from the hands of the Luo family's iron soldiers. As soon as the sound came out, Prince Cheng and the others who had just been ravaged subconsciously trembled. You! The veins on Prince Cheng's forehead were about to burst. If it weren't for old third, old fifth, and great-granduncle who went to help the Mang Tiger Guards, they wouldn't have been humiliated like this today. These Luo clan people were too arrogant. They were truly arrogant when they had the upper hand. They didn't put the imperial family in their eyes. Fortunately, they made the first move. Otherwise, when Luo Qingtong's wings were fully grown and she no longer feared revealing her identity, would the imperial family still have a way to live? An existence like the Luo clan should be completely eradicated, so as not to block the imperial family's future. Prince Cheng's expression was sinister. Just as he was about to say something, the Luo clan's iron army pulled the trigger. In an instant, the group of people covered their heads and fled like rats. Prince Cheng was practically being carried as he ran. Tianyu's imperial family came with high spirits and arrogance at the beginning, but now they were battered and exhausted. The imperial prince of an imperial empire and his subordinates were being chased around by the Luo clan like rats on the street. The surrounding onlookers called it domineering and refreshing awe. When had people from a lower country ever held their heads up high like this? When Tianyu's imperial family went to a higher country, they were treated like ancestors and didn't dare to offend them in the slightest. But the Luo clan's people directly beat them until they covered their heads and fled like rats. They were really giving face to Dongli country. The Luo clan's people are really arrogant. Someone couldn't help but sigh. But like this, Tianyu's imperial family won't let this go, right? Humph. So what if they won't let this go? Look at the Luo clan, why would they be afraid of them? But the Luo clan really exceeded my expectations. I really didn't expect that there would be a day when our people from a lower country could beat the imperial family of an imperial country until they covered their heads and fled like rats. Yes, The Luo clan is mighty. They're much better than those aristocratic families who know how to be domineering in their own country. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Luo clan's Iron Army's weapons, we've never seen them before. How could he beat up the royal family of Tianyu so badly? Finally, someone saw through the nature of the gossip and noticed the guns in the hands of the Luo family's iron soldiers. However, because the guns of the Luo clan's Iron Army were hidden very well, no one actually paid much attention to it, and no one knew what it was for a while. However, the strength of the Luo clan's Iron Army was unquestionable. Even the elite Mang Tiger Guards of Tianyu's royal family were being suppressed. It was simply amazing. While the discussion was in full swing, Prince Cheng and the others returned to the courtyard in Windgaze City, their bodies covered in wounds. Seeing the group of people they had sent to deliver the betrothal gifts being beaten up like this, with some dead and some injured, the person in charge of guarding the courtyard immediately notified Prince Yen and the others outside the city. What's going on? Prince Yen and the others, who had rushed back from outside the city after receiving the news, were furious. She had thought that nothing would happen if Prince Cheng went alone to deliver the betrothal gifts. Moreover, he was a good talker. He could use this to discuss that old fart surnamed Luo and show the magnanimity and prestige of Tianyu's imperial family. Who would have thought that it had only been a short while since the betrothal gifts were sent? He was actually beaten up like this. Let's not talk about those Mang Tiger Guard elites, let's talk about Prince Cheng himself. A Grand Prince of the Empire. Chapter 555. Bastards. The Luo clan has gone too far. They haven't even announced that Luo Qingtong is the evil Dr. Ghost Eye. How dare they treat our imperial family like this? They're really rebellious. If they rise again, I'm afraid we won't be the first to be spared. We made the right decision to kill them and control Luo Qingtong. Prince Yan's face is full of murderous intent. The Luo clan is really arrogant. Relying on the magical weapon Luo Qingtong gave them, they're really lawless. Prince De says darkly. He looks at the martial emperor elder beside him and says, "Great uncle, I think we shouldn't wait anymore. The Luo clan doesn't put our imperial family in their eyes. They smashed the betrothal gifts and injured the prince and the elite tiger guards. Let's use this as an excuse to rush into the Luo clan now. We'll directly destroy the entire Luo clan. Then we'll drag out that old bastard from the Luo clan and beat him up. We'll control him and use him to threaten Luo Qingtong. In any case, you have to help old Seven vent his anger." Prince De's face revealed a ruthless expression. Tianyu's imperial family has never suffered such a big loss. That old bastard from the Luo clan is really tired of living. His words were ruthless, and Yan Qinhuang also nodded beside him, agreeing with his words. However, the martial emperor elder shakes his head. "No. We can't. Things have already come to this point. We have to act according to plan. We can't make a single mistake. The Luo clan and Luo Qingtong must let our imperial family down. That way, we can do whatever we want to them without a hitch. Although the Luo clan has gone too far this time, in the eyes of outsiders, they're still pardonable. After all, Yuan Shuai wanted to kill Luo Qingtong but failed. Everyone can understand the Luo clan's anger. We can't make a mistake at this time," he says sternly. Moer's development in the holy court of the Empire of Qin is good. This time, we have to take his reputation into consideration. Let's not talk about this matter anymore. We'll endure it for now. Let the Luo clan be arrogant. The more arrogant they are, the more they won't be able to defend themselves when they're caught in the act. The world will hate them even more. When the time comes, it'll be more advantageous for our imperial family." His words were final, and Prince Yen and Prince De didn't say anything else. However, at night, a group of fully armed men and horses appeared near the Luo family's residence. "Humph. If we can't do it openly, we'll do it in the dark. We must vent this anger. As long as we don't kill that old bastard from the Luo clan. Let him live to see the Luo clan's downfall and be despised by the world. And his granddaughter, she will become a prisoner of Tianyu's imperial family. Let's see how he can still be arrogant. In the night, Prince Yan's expression was cold. He was not Prince Cheng or Prince Da. He is. Old Master Luo was one thing, but the soldiers of the Luo family had to die. He suddenly waved his hand. After we charge in, kill only the iron soldiers. Don't move, Grandfather Luo. Wait for Granduncle and the others to set up a trap. Chapter 556. The Mang Tiger Guards had heard about what happened during the day. Towards their comrades being injured by the Luo family's strange weapons, these Mang Tiger Guard elites all felt stifled inside. They were the best troops under the command of the Tianyu imperial family. They were very powerful and famous even in the Tianyu Empire. But this time, they were defeated by the Luo family. The Mang Tiger Guards, the direct troops of the Tianyu imperial family, were defeated by the private army of an inferior marquis. It was an insult to the Mang Tiger Guards. Didn't the Luo family's iron army rely on those strange weapons to take the enemy by surprise? Now that they launched a surprise attack at night, they wanted to see how strong the enemy was when they fought with their real strength. They wanted to avenge their comrades who were killed and injured during the day. They also wanted to prove the name of the Mang Tiger Guards. Swish. 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 They rushed into the Luo family's mansion under the cover of the night like hungry tigers pouncing on sheep. In an instant, they appeared in the mansion. Just as they all jumped onto the city wall and were about to spread out in batches and go to different parts of the Luo family's mansion to start a bloody massacre. Swish. Suddenly, a series of energy fluctuations rose up in the sky, shrouding the entire Luo clan's mansion in it. At the same time, in the Luo family's courtyard, where there was no one, rows of figures suddenly appeared. Tisk, TSK, TSK. I waited for a night. I didn't expect you to dare to come. The group of Evil Valley people looked excitedly at Prince Yen and the others who appeared in the Luo family's mansion. They were like turtles in a jar. The latter and the others still had bloodthirsty smiles on their faces, but when they saw the Evil Valley's people, who were even more excited and had bloodthirsty smiles on their faces, they were instantly stunned. These people were also from the Luo family? How could this be? Prince Yen looked at the people in front of him in shock. The strength of these people was not any weaker than the elite ferocious tiger guards that he had brought. And some of them even won. They were all martial lords and martial kings. And a martial royal realm expert. Oh my God. Even the personal guards of the Emperor of Tianyu were not as strong as them. Prince Yen and the others were shocked. The leader of the martial royal realm experts looked at him and laughed. Oh, a big fish. We're going to be busy today. He wondered if the royal family of Tianyu would cry from the heartache of killing this big fish. After all, it was not easy to cultivate such a powerful descendant of the imperial family. Not to mention that he was a prince. During the day, they didn't manage to get any betrothal gifts, so they had to stay in the dark and watch the Luo clan's iron army show off. Now, it was finally their turn to show off. How dare you force my master to marry you? Who the hell do you think you are? The martial emperor looked coldly at Yan Qinhuang and said, now you still dare to come here and seek your own death. Prince, since your princes, Don. As he spoke, he raised his hand. They're all dead. To the emperors. Following his words, everyone in the heavenly Evil Valley agreed in unison. Chapter 557. No. Prince Yan's face was filled with panic. He never thought that Luo Qingtong's identity as Evil Dr. Ghost Eye had not been announced to the public, but there was already such a powerful force in the Luo family. He had thought that Luo Qingtong's identity was hidden, so there could not be any powerful guards in the Luo family. He never thought that there would be a secret guard that was not inferior to the Emperor's guards. Didn't this mean that this force was cultivated by Luo Qingtong herself? This was terrifying. How many trump cards did the Luo family have? Previously, the Luo family's iron army had taken out strange weapons, and now there was a powerful force. How much power was hidden under the Luo family's inconspicuous appearance? He had made a mistake in coming to attack the Luo family at night. Go! Let's go! He shouted desperately. Fortunately, he was at the peak of the martial royal realm. If he risked his life to escape, there should be no problem. Even if the other party had the same weapons as the Luo family's iron army, they might not be able to do anything to him. After all, although Prince Cheng's injury looked terrible, it was not particularly serious, was it? Moreover, he had so many elite ferocious tiger guards with him. They could protect him even if they risked their lives. However, just as Prince Yen was thinking about this, boom! The layers of power above his head suddenly spun down when he lifted his body to attack the people of Evil Valley and take the opportunity to escape. The protective array was activated. Streaks of silver light came crashing down like lightning. In an instant, the attack he had thrown out was counterattacked at a faster speed than before. With a bang, he was blasted away by his own attack and the martial royal realm expert's attack. Array? Prince Yan's expression became even more shocked as he looked at the streaks of silver light flowing in the sky. His face twitched violently. If this array was an ordinary confinement array, it would be fine. With his strength, he could break it in minutes. This was also the reason why Prince Yen did not panic when he saw the array covering the sky. If the people of Evil Valley had not appeared and the Luo family's iron army had not used that strange weapon in the day, he might not have escaped. But now, this array formation was able to reflect his attack. Under such circumstances, what chance did he have of winning against these people? He did not even dare to fight back. The Luo family's protection array was so terrifying. Luo Qingtong had left too many trump cards behind? He had never heard that evil Dr. Ghost I was also a spiritual array master. Being an alchemist was shocking enough. She was a spiritual array master. Prince Yen was in despair. When he was sent flying and vomited blood, the Mang Tiger Guard elites who were fighting with their lives on the line beside him also suffered a backlash from their attacks. The heavenly Evil Valley's people were like hungry wolves that rushed into a flock of sheep. When the group of ferocious tiger guards were sent flying and vomiting blood from their own attacks, they reaped their lives. Swoosh! Swoosh swoosh! Every time they attacked, they would take away a ferocious tiger guard's life. Their movements were as comfortable as if they were taking something out of their pockets. The ferocious tiger guard's defense was not a threat to them. In an instant, corpses were everywhere. Wails of agony. The Luo family had turned into a bloody battlefield, reaping the lives of the ferocious tiger guards. Even Prince Yen was no exception. Chapter 558. In the courtyard of Tianyu's imperial family. What's going on? How can a group of living people just disappear like that? In the courtyard, Prince De was furious. Too many things had happened in the past 2 days. First, Prince Cheng was injured when he went to the Luo clan to deliver the betrothal gifts, and then the Mang Tiger Guard suffered heavy casualties. Not only that, but Prince Yen and the Mang Tiger Guard were also gone after one night. They hadn't even started to deal with the Luo clan in this inferior kingdom, but they had already lost 2 princes and thousands of Mang Tiger Guard. No one would believe him if he said it out loud. 2 princes and thousands of Mang Tiger Guard. He would be able to do whatever he wanted in any high-class country and destroy the other party's country as he wished. Don't worry about him. The martial emperor expert furrowed his brows. He had been searching for a long time, but he couldn't find Prince Yan's whereabouts. Either someone had used some method to conceal Prince Yan's aura. Either that, or Prince Yen was no longer in Windgaze City. The old man was more inclined to the latter. He didn't believe that there was anyone in Windgaze City who could hide from his detection methods. Luo Qingtong hadn't exposed her identity yet, so she couldn't have such a powerful expert. If she did, the Luo clan's iron army wouldn't have been the only ones who made a move yesterday. They would have been driven out of Windgaze City long ago. The old man was very confident of this. What he didn't know was that Luo Qingtong had set up a formation in the Luo clan. Although it couldn't resist a powerhouse like him, it could easily conceal his aura. Otherwise, the Heavenly Evil Valleys group and the Martial Emperor would have been discovered long ago. Humph. He must have been dissatisfied with my words yesterday, so he took his men out to vent. The old man snorted, he's so immature and doesn't care about the big picture. After this, I'll report this to His Majesty and punish him. When Prince Da heard this, he also felt that it should be so. After all, Prince Yen did complain yesterday that this was too easy for the Luo clan and tarnishing the imperial family's reputation. This old fifth was really too worrisome. He actually threw a tantrum at this time. However, the Prince of Da didn't have the energy to pay attention to him. This was because the Mang Tiger Guard's elite troops that had rushed over from the eastern fence country had already been completely assembled. Nearly 10,000 soldiers marched toward the capital of eastern fence country, Windgaze City. Along the way, wherever the army passed, flags would flutter in the wind, looking awe-inspiring. All of the Mang Tiger Guard's elites were clad in red armor and fully armed. They carried chests full of betrothal gifts and once again headed towards the Luo family to deliver the betrothal gifts. The royal family of Tianyu was truly vicious. They wanted to use this method to attract everyone's attention and ruin the reputation of the Luo family in front of the world. At the same time, it also gave them an excellent excuse to send out an army to wipe out the Luo family. Da. The four gates of Windgaze City were wide open. Countless elite soldiers of the Mang Tiger Guard entered in a single file. Everyone's attention was on this group, praising the Tianyu imperial clan for their extravagance. They were really giving the Luo clan face. What he didn't know was that the royal family of Tianyu wasn't sending a betrothal gift, but killing intent. At the same time, in the Luo family of Windgaze City, a figure suddenly appeared. This is the Luo family? The man in silver had black hair and a domineering aura. Chapter 559. At the same time, Luo Qingtong and the others were resting in a city near the border of Dongli country. Soon, they heard the discussions around them. Hey, did you hear? Tianyu's imperial family went to the Luo clan to deliver the betrothal gifts. That's a big scene. Oh my god. Tens of thousands of Mang Tiger Guards went to the Luo clan to deliver the betrothal gifts. I heard there were so many betrothal gifts that the Mang Tiger Guards couldn't carry them all. Wow. Tianyu's imperial family is so generous. They're giving the Luo clan a lot of face. The Mang Tiger Guards are the elites of Tianyu's imperial family, the most powerful troop in Tianyu's imperial family. They're mobilizing so many people just to deliver the betrothal gifts. Yeah. Looks like the Luo clan isn't as disliked as people say. Otherwise, why would the imperial family send such a big entourage just to deliver the betrothal gifts? They're clearly trying to suppress the Luo clan. Yeah, looks like the 7th princess's incident was a misunderstanding. Tianyu's imperial family doesn't seem to be so ungrateful. Everyone was talking about it. Luo Qingtong and little overlord Yuan walked among them and heard everything clearly. Damn, these people from Tianyu's royal family are too treacherous. Ling Yu lashed out with her whip, the tip of the whip creating a crisp sound in the air. Her brows furrowed. They're obviously doing this for ulterior motives. Who would send an elite troop to deliver the betrothal gifts? But she had to admit that if they didn't know the imperial family had ulterior motives, they wouldn't think there was anything wrong with their actions. Instead, they'd think the imperial family valued the Luo clan a lot. After all, the imperial family's elite troops weren't usually mobilized. Only by mobilizing them now would the imperial family be able to show how serious and solemn the betrothal gifts were. They gave Luo Qingtong enough face and washed away the public's impression of Tianyu's imperial family. What a good plan to kill two birds with one stone. Luo Qingtong's expression was cold. Sending a large army here for no reason would naturally be criticized by others. But Tianyu's imperial family's actions would only be praised for their sincerity and how much they valued the Luo clan. In this way, when they found out that the Luo family had betrayed the marriage agreement with her, they would naturally be able to make a move. Tens of thousands of Mang Tiger Guard elites. If she hadn't received the news in advance, the Luo family would have been consigned to eternal damnation. However, Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes. The Luo clan was nothing in the eyes of Tianyu's royal family. They had always been dismissive of him, so why did they suddenly spend so much effort to plot against the Luo family? They even sent an army of tens of thousands. When the Empress of Tianyu wanted to destroy the Luo clan, she only sent a small group of Mang Tiger Guards and a martial king from Fiji. And among the people sent by Tianyu's royal family, there was actually a prince-level descendant? Since when did House Luo need to be so cautious? The bloody light in Luo Qingtong's eyes deepened. Could it be that his identity was exposed? If that was the case, then Tianyu's imperial family couldn't be left alive. The identity of evil Dr. Ghost Eye was Luo Qingtong's biggest bottom line and trump card. She wouldn't allow it to be exposed to the public. Are the people from Duke Ling's mansion ready? She looked at Ling Tianhan beside her. Yes, they are. The Ling family army of Duke Ling's mansion is being mobilized and will be here soon. Ling Tianhan thought Luo Qingtong was worried about the tens of thousands of Mang Tiger Guards in Tianyu's imperial family. After all, this army was enough to raise a superior country to the ground. Chapter 560. No need. The girl's expression was impassive. Let Duke Ling's men continue to mobilize the troops. Mobilize all the troops that you can interfere with and control. Besiege the imperial city. Don't let anyone from Tianyu's imperial family go. As for me, you don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about it? Ling Yu, and the others widened their eyes. That was an elite army of tens of thousands. It was enough to casually wipe out a high-class country in its prime several times. Even the aristocratic families of the empire had to be on guard against such an army. Luo Qingtong was telling them not to worry about it. How was the Luo clan going to deal with them? But Ling Tianhan wanted to say something, but Luo Qingtong stopped him. No buts, just do as I say. In addition, if Duke Ling's mansion doesn't have enough people. She flashed a jade pendant in her hand. Take this jade pendant to House Yanyu. They will do their best to help. Yanyu Ju's jade pendant came in handy. Luo Qingtong's favor of saving the little Shota also came in handy. If Tianyu's imperial family wanted to wipe out the Luo clan, she would uproot the entire imperial family. The imperial family of an imperial empire was truly impressive. Unfortunately, their power and prestige had come to an end here. Swoosh! Luo Qingtong leapt up and hurried back to Windgaze City. At the same time, in Windgaze City, the sound of gongs and drums filled the air. A group of Mang Tiger Guards marched toward the Luo clan. Their military flags and red scarves fluttered in the wind. A vast expanse of red armor stretched as far as the eye could see. Even with the festive red scarves covering it, it still revealed an aura of ruthlessness and sternness. Bei Qing, Feng Yu, and the others were slightly dumbfounded when they saw the large group of red recruitment troops heading towards the Luo family. In the sky above the Luo family's residence, the Atlas flying ship was hidden. This. Oh my God. Are we seeing things? They rubbed their eyes hard and then realized that the Red Army was really coming for the Luo clan. Was this the army of Tianyu's imperial family? Oh my God. This was going to blow up. Master is still in the Luo family. Yet the royal family of Tianyu came to deliver the betrothal gifts. Based on how much Master cared about the evil doctor, Bei Qing and Feng Yu expressed that the scene was too beautiful for them to look at. They couldn't imagine what kind of reaction Yi Qianren would have later. His master had gone through a lot of trouble to find out the whereabouts of the evil doctor, and was happily waiting for him to show up. When he went down to the Luo clan, he didn't even bring them along. He made them wait in the heaven-raising flying ship. If they knew that the royal family of Tianyu was here to deliver the betrothal gifts, Bei Qing and Feng Yu shuddered as they thought about it. At the same time, at the Luo family's gate, the tens of thousands of elite tiger guards had already stopped in their tracks. Prince De and the martial emperor old man stood at the front of the group. Beside them were King Dongli and the aristocratic families of Dongli Kingdom. He looked at the tightly shut door of the Luo clan and announced, Prince De of Tianyu's royal family is here to present the betrothal gifts again. Old Master Luo, what happened before was a misunderstanding. Our royal family values the Luo family's engagement very much. This time, to show our sincerity, tens of thousands of elite soldiers are here. This is to show how much we value the Luo family and Miss Luo. Old Master Luo, please show yourself. Chapter 561. Clatter. The Luo family's iron army rushed out of the gate of the Luo family's residence and lined up on both sides of the gate. The military might of the entire army was impressive, not losing to the elite troops of the Tiger Man guards. Elder Luo walked out of the gate with a majestic gait. His tiger-like eyes scanned the red-armored troops behind Prince De. Humph. Betrothal gifts? I think Tianyu's imperial family is up to no good. You want to attack us, right? Grandfather Luo didn't play around with them and directly told them the purpose of the imperial family's visit. Prince De and the others didn't change their expressions. Don't say that, Elder Luo. Our fifth prince is in love with Miss Luo. The seventh princess was naughty and mischievous in the past and made a mistake. Please don't hold it against her, Elder Luo. His Majesty has already punished her severely. Even the Empress was scolded. Everyone in the Tianyu Empire knows this. I don't need to scold you, Elder Luo. This time, the betrothal gifts were sent with such a large number of people. This is also to show how much we value the Luo family. Prince De smiled. Among the three princes, he was the most amiable. Who would have thought that just a moment ago, he had even suggested that they should just annihilate the Luo clan without waiting for a plan. Humph. That's Tianyu's own business. Elder Luo wasn't moved by his words at all. Tianyu's imperial family wants my granddaughter's life. I'll never agree to this marriage. As for the engagement, I've already cancelled it the last time I went to Tianyu Empire. Tianyu's imperial family is shameless enough to drag it out. Now, in front of so many people, I'll make it clear. Our Luo clan doesn't care about the marriage between Tianyu's imperial family. You think we're inferior, but I think you're ungrateful and immoral. There's no point in talking. Take these betrothal gifts and go back to where they came from. As for the betrothal token, I don't want it either. Elder Luo's eyes were cold. Of course, Tianyu's imperial family can use force too. We're not as strong as Tianyu's imperial family. Old Master Luo laughed sarcastically. This time, he didn't give any face to the imperial family at all. He belittled them as if they were worthless in front of the world. These bastards deserved it. The dignified imperial family actually came up with such a sinister and vicious plan. If it wasn't for the news, Elder Luo wouldn't have known that Tianyu's royal family was so vicious. He actually wanted to destroy Qing Tong and the Luo family. Luckily, Qing Tong found out about this. Otherwise, if they succeeded, the Luo family and Qing Tong would be condemned by everyone. Not only would his reputation be ruined, he would also have to face the disdain of others and be consigned to eternal damnation. The royal family of Tianyu deserved to die. If it weren't for Luo Qingtong's order, Grandfather Luo wouldn't have been able to hold himself back. Old Master Luo, you're wrong. When our two families signed the engagement, everything was fine. How can your Luo family break off the engagement because of a small matter? Isn't this too much of a joke? Prince De said sternly. Don't worry, Old Master Luo. When Miss Luo marries into our imperial family, we won't let her suffer the slightest bit. Indeed, they wouldn't let her suffer the slightest bit. They would only let her become a puppet in the palm of Tianyu's imperial family, a tool to create resources and endless benefits for the imperial family. Prince De sneered. When the time came, they could kill her if they wanted her to live or die. The Luo family and Luo Qingtong couldn't resist at all. Chapter 562. The latter and the others understood. In an instant, one of the aristocratic families of the Eastern Fence country who had received the order stepped forward. Tianyu's royal family is so sincere. But it's a pity that the Luo clan doesn't deserve it. He pretended to be angry as he looked in the direction of old Master Luo. Luo Tong, you and I have a good relationship. But today, I can't help it and I don't want to hide it for you anymore. Speaking of this, he suddenly raised his voice and said, everyone may not know this, but the reason why the Luo family repeatedly requested to annul the engagement with the Tianyu royal family is not because Luo Qingtong was harmed by the seventh princess as they said. It's because Luo Qingtong has been having an affair with another man all these years. That man is in the Luo clan. The two of them get along day and night and Luo Qingtong is pregnant. That's why the Luo clan wants to break off the engagement. Since Luo Qingtong isn't here, they can say whatever they want. As soon as he said that, the crowd burst into an uproar. Wow! No way! Luo Qingtong is having an affair with another man and that's why the Luo clan wants to break off the engagement with Tianyu's royal family? Oh my god! Is this true? No wonder the Luo clan would rather die than accept the engagement. I'm also confused. It's an imperial engagement. The fifth prince said in public that he won't marry anyone other than Luo Qingtong. Even if Yuan Shui did something wrong, it doesn't mean the entire royal family is wrong. Yes. This news is too shocking. However, there really was such a possibility. If Luo Qingtong is having an affair with another man and is pregnant, the Luo clan wouldn't dare to continue the engagement with Tianyu's royal family. Oh my god. So that's the truth. To think that I had thought that the Luo clan would never submit to force, nor would they be corrupted by wealth. Yes. It's unbelievable. I didn't expect the Luo clan to be so shameless. Maybe the seventh princess is also a victim. Who knows if she found out about their affair, so she angrily attacked Luo Qingtong. Otherwise, why would a princess of the empire have to make life difficult for Luo Qingtong, the legitimate daughter of a marquis from an inferior country? You even schemed to kill her. Now that you put it that way, I'm starting to believe you. In other words, Tianyu's royal family is the victim. The group of people discussed animatedly as they looked at the people of the Luo clan with disdain and disdain. I didn't expect Luo Qingtong to be this kind of person. The Luo family is still protecting her. Exactly. Luo Laozi looked at the head of the family who swore that Luo Qingtong really had an affair with someone else and that the Luo family was covering up for her. He couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. He did have a good relationship with the other party in the past. It was just that when the Luo family met with a disaster and the other party didn't do anything at all, the relationship between him and old Master Luo faded. Who would have thought that he would be the first to jump out and trample on the Luo clan? Good. Really good. After the head of the family spoke, the other heads of the families of Dongli country who had already received the signal from the royal family of Tianyu also spoke up one after another. They made it sound as if it was the truth, vivid and vivid. They even talked about how long Luo Qingtong was pregnant and how many months she had been pregnant. They did all this to make it sound as if it was a done deal. Chapter 563. Oh my god. What a turn of events. The evil doctor had an affair with another man and was pregnant. It had been 3 months. They looked at each other in shock. 3 months ago, Master and the evil doctor hadn't known each other for long. Could it be, Master? The two of them said in unison. The group of people was in an indescribable mess. They didn't expect their master to be so awesome. They were still worried about when he and the evil doctor would get married. He actually had a child with the evil doctor without anyone noticing. If the people of Dongli country hadn't exposed it, they wouldn't have known. Their master was so good at hiding it. But it was a shame that their master couldn't deal with the evil doctor even though they had a child. No wonder he didn't want to talk about it. While Bei Qing, Feng Yu, and the others were imagining all kinds of things, Prince De and the others from the Qingyun realm had turned pale after hearing the description of the leaders of the aristocratic families of the Eastern Li nation. They pretended to be angry and questioned, "Old Master Luo, are the words of the aristocratic families true? Your Luo family has indeed abandoned the marriage agreement with our royal family long ago. Luo Qingtong has an affair with someone else and even has a child." Prince De's expression was the most unsightly. He sneered, "No wonder the Luo family turned a blind eye to our sincerity. So there was such an inside story. How disgusting. The Luo family can't be slandered for something we didn't do." Old Luo already knew all this. Although he was bitterly disappointed by the betrayal of his old friend, he pulled himself together quickly. "These bastards from the Tianyu family. I'll let them know what it means to go for wool and come home shorn." He sneered and looked at the people from the Tianyu family. "You came fully armed today. You said you wanted to send the betrothal gifts, but you secretly wanted to slander the Luo family so you could attack us, right? Because the Luo family didn't want to continue the engagement with the Tianyu family, you lost face and now you want to attack us." Old Luo said righteously, "Who is the shameless and disgusting one here?" "Humph. Luo Tong, don't bluff your way out here. As far as I know, that person is now living in the Luo family. Whether it's slander or not, we'll know once we rush into Miss Luo's boudoir." Family head Chen, who jumped out first, shouted sternly. He knew that the royal family of Tianyu had already arranged everything, so he was fearless. "That's right." As soon as he said this, Prince De spoke in a sinister tone. "Now that this matter has been exposed, it is reasonable for us to get to the bottom of this. Old man Luo, if they slander you, it's our imperial family's fault. I will naturally take care of this matter and punish these people who slandered the Luo family and instigated the relationship between our two families. But if there is such a thing," with that, he glared at grandfather Luo. "Then don't blame us for being merciless. The dignity of the royal family cannot be challenged. Men, charge in." With that, he waved his hand and was about to order the Mang Tiger Guards to break into the residence. Today, he would hang the evidence of the Luo family and Luo Qingtong breaking the engagement in front of everyone. He would make them unable to defend themselves and be despised by everyone. Chapter 564. Wait. Grandpa Luo roared when he saw what Luo Binghe was doing. "We, the Luo family, look up to the heavens and earth. We have a clear conscience. There is nothing to hide. I can let you search the place to clear our name. But if you can't find it, I'll deal with those who slandered our Luo family. Tianyu's imperial family must break off the engagement with our Luo family immediately. Our Luo family can't stand an in-law who suspects my granddaughter of having an affair. We can't bear the love of the Tianyu imperial family." Elder Luo looked at Prince De and the others with disdain. "You can't wait to see the fifth prince be cuckolded. How much do you hate him? Our Luo family won't play along with you. We won't allow you to slander us." "Okay." Prince De agreed without hesitation. "Luo Tong, this old fart, is really naive. Did he think he had a clear conscience because he didn't do anything? He was indeed a boorish man. He didn't know how vicious the schemes in this world could be. If Luo Qingtong didn't have an adulterer, couldn't they just make one up? They wanted to break off the engagement with the imperial family? Unfortunately, after today, the Luo family would cease to exist in this world." "Okay. All of you here have heard what he said. If you can't find it, our Luo family will have nothing to do with the imperial family of Tianyu. The engagement will be cancelled." Elder Luo raised his voice. "A bunch of idiots. Let them search the place." Dongli Prince didn't arrange anyone inside. Then, the imperial family of Tianyu would confirm the slander in front of the whole world. This marriage contract was officially annulled. He didn't want to be stuck with this piece of sticky candy. It was so annoying. Elder Luo snorted and stepped aside. Prince De led a group of people from the imperial family of Tianyu and the aristocratic families of Dongli country into the house. The crowd of onlookers rushed in as well. It would be a waste if they didn't watch this gossip. Whoosh! They rushed into the Luo family and went straight to the main house. At this moment, the people from Evil Valley who were in charge of guarding the Luo family in the dark were all frightened to the place where they were hiding. 7 by 7, 49 positions, above each formation everyone was rooted to the spot by a terrifyingly powerful aura. From head to toe, they only had 2 eyeballs that could move. At this moment, they were looking at the figure that appeared in their line of sight with shock and horror. The man was dressed in silver and had black hair. His aura was extremely powerful, and with a wave of his sleeve, he could cause clouds and rain to fall. At this moment, he was standing under the window of Luo Qingtong's room with his hands clasped behind his back. He was like a divine king who had descended from the 9th heaven. His gaze was serene as he looked through the thin veil on the window at the aggressive crowd outside. The dark golden mask reflected a faint light, completely covering the man's handsome face that was like a celestial being's. Only a pair of blood-red eyes could be seen, which seemed to contain countless saber lights. With just a glance, it made people feel that the 9 heavens and 10 earths were extremely tyrannical. Affair? The man's voice was low and melodious, with a faint feeling of coldness and majesty, but one could also feel the faint joy in it. Yi Qinren's lips curled up slightly. He liked this accusation that people outside had pinned on him. Chapter 565. Bang! The members of Tianyu's royal family charged into the main courtyard in an aggressive manner. The people of Evil Valley who were rooted to the spot could only watch as they rushed into Luo Qingtong's room. Oh my god! There was a peerless demon inside. Ming Zun. It was Ming Zun from the Black Field. The people of Evil Valley didn't know why this supreme being from the Black Field would appear in the Luo family. Was he here for master? The people of Evil Valley who came from the Black Field's slave market guessed. But how did Ming Zun know master's identity? And, the people of Evil Valley thought bitterly. Ming Zun and master didn't seem to have a good relationship. During this period of time, they had also heard that the dark region was searching everywhere for traces of their master. This supreme being from the Black Field wouldn't be here to cause trouble for master, would he? It was as if everything had clashed together. Master, come back quickly. We can't take it anymore. Bang! The imperial family of Tianyu pushed open the door to Luo Qingtong's room in front of the shocked eyes of the people of Evil Valley. Humph! Look! There's nothing you want inside. Old Master Luo followed closely behind them and snorted. He was about to mock the imperial family of Tianyu. However, when he glanced around, he saw a figure sitting in the middle of the room. In an instant, his voice trailed off. Then, he suddenly raised his head and shouted in disbelief, "Who are you?" King Dongli didn't arrange for anyone to come in. The Luo family was protected by Qingtong's array and the people of Evil Valley. It was impossible for anyone to arrange for someone to come in. How on earth did this person appear? Old Master Luo was dumbfounded. He didn't know what went wrong. Could it be that this person was arranged by his granddaughter? To expose the imperial family of Tianyu's conspiracy? However, just as he was thinking about it, Yi Qianxian's cold voice sounded. Luo Qingtong's man. As soon as these words were spoken, Prince Da and the others, who thought that their scheme had succeeded, immediately shouted. Luo Tong. Your Luo family really did break the engagement with the royal family. He actually condoned Luo Qingtong to have an affair with another man, disregarding the dignity of the imperial family. You people of the Luo clan deserve to die. Men, flatten the Luo clan immediately. Other than Luo Tong, kill everyone else. As soon as the Prince of Da finished speaking, there was a whoosh. In his left hand, a signal light suddenly shot up into the sky and exploded in the sky. Bang bang bang. Outside Luo family, when the several tens of thousands of Mang Tiger guards saw the signal in the sky, they immediately tore apart the decorative red armor they wore, revealing the austere black armor underneath. A murderous aura was emitted without restraint. All Mang Tiger Guards, attack! As the Prince of De shouted, in an instant, tens of thousands of Mang Tiger Guards rushed toward the Luo clan like a black tide. At the same time, in the main courtyard of the Luo clan, Prince De made his move against Grandfather Luo. The 5 fingers of his hands were like claws, and they instantly grabbed at Elder Luo in front of him. The experts of Tianyu's imperial family beside him also sneered and attacked the people around Grandfather Luo. The lords of the Dongli nation's imperial family who had slandered the Luo clan also attacked. In an instant, these people revealed their true colors. They looked at the Luo clan as if they were lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Chapter 566. Bang! A series of loud noises came from outside. In an instant, countless cries of pain could be heard. Outside the Luo family, Luo Qingtong was like a blood-soaked azura. Her entire body was covered in a glaring and bloodthirsty red. Large patches of blood splattered on her robe, but were absorbed by the red, causing the patterns on her robe to bloom into an even more beautiful and enchanting flower. Rumble. Luo Qingtong raised the wind and thunder sword in her hand. With every attack, she reaped the lives of a large number of Mang Tiger Guards. Behind her, little Overlord Yuan and the others worked together and followed her like a meat grinder. Yuan Hu's defense, Sima Ju's poison, Su Xiaoxiao's medicine, Ling Yu's whip, and Ling Tianhan's sword. This group of students from Tianyu Academy was strong enough to kill experts of the same level. When they worked together, their power was even more terrifying. The group of Mang Tiger Guard elites was like a tidal wave. They were like Moses parting the sea, carving out a bloody path for them. Eldest Miss. The Luo family's iron soldiers guarding the Luo family's gates saw Luo Qingtong's arrival and instantly shouted in surprise. Their gazes towards the girl were full of admiration and worship. Eldest Miss was back. Their Luo family would not be in any danger. Eldest Miss, the Tianyu royal family is too much. They slandered our Luo family and want to kill us all. The Luo family's iron soldiers said. Don't worry, there will no longer be a Tianyu royal family in this world. Luo Qingtong's voice was cold. She looked at the Luo family's iron soldiers. Change all your guns to these. As Luo Qingtong spoke, she threw out a ring. Inside were all the spirit chi guns she had recently experimented with. They could absorb the spirit chi in the air to attack. As long as the user had enough strength, they could always use the spirit chi guns to attack. Yes. The Luo family's iron soldiers did not ask anything and directly changed to the spirit chi guns Luo Qingtong gave them. These guns were not the pocket-sized guns Luo Qingtong made for them before, but the Desert Eagle-type light machine guns. Beat him up. When everyone in the Luo family's iron army finished changing, Luo Qingtong asked little Overlord Yuan and the others to step aside. In the next second, bam bam bam. Ah! Miserable screams sounded from all around. Tens of thousands of Mang Tiger Guard elites were instantly shot down by the Luo family's iron army like paper. Large swathes of them fell down. Under the Luo family's iron army, the spirit bullets shot out by the guns that were enhanced with spirit energy transformation inscriptions easily tore apart the profound energy shields that enveloped the Mang Tiger Guards. A large number of them were killed on the spot. In just a few breaths of time, the several tens of thousands of verdant Tiger Guard elites that were enough to flatten the Luo family all fell to the ground. There was an indescribable silence. Even the soldiers of the Luo clan were stunned by the power of their attacks. Instant kill. It was actually an instant kill. Moreover, it was a large number of instant kills. Oh my god. Since when was it so easy to kill the Imperial family's elite Tiger Guards? What kind of terrifying killing weapon did Eldest Miss give them? It was actually many times more powerful than the previous ones. It could even use spirit chi. And they did not need to spend too much effort. Everyone was stunned. Little Overlord Yuan and the others were even more shocked. Although they knew that Luo Qingtong definitely had a way to deal with these several tens of thousands of Mang Tiger Guard elites, they did not expect her method to be so shocking. What kind of weapon was this? It could actually ignore the user's level and launch such a powerful attack. Chapter 567. Just as Luo Qingtong was rushing back, rays of array light shot up from the Luo family and instantly enveloped Prince De and the others who had attacked. That vast and majestic aura instantly filled the entire Luo residence as it charged towards Prince De and the others. Formation. When they saw the streaks of light in the sky, Prince De and the others narrowed their eyes. How could there be such a terrifying formation in the Luo residence? Why didn't they notice it when they came in? Before they could react, those terrifying attacks fell on them like a torrential downpour in the next second. Rumble. Everyone who had attacked the Luo clan with murderous intent had been baptized by the attacks of these arrays. In the blink of an eye, a series of miserable howls rang out. In an instant, the imperial family of Tianyu suffered heavy injuries. The heads of the aristocratic families of Dongli Nation were sent flying while vomiting blood. They were no match for the imperial family of Tianyu in terms of strength. Under such an overwhelming attack, it was already extremely fortunate to be able to survive. And that was because the imperial family of Tianyu had blocked most of the attacks for them. Oh no, there's such a powerful formation in the Luo residence. Quick! Get out of here and join forces with the rest of the army to destroy the formation. The martial emperor elder who had been standing by the side with his hands behind his back and did not participate in the attack said. Seeing the formation's attack pattern, he carried the injured Prince De and his men and left. However, when they arrived outside the Luo residence, they were shocked by the scene outside. Corpses were everywhere. Corpses were everywhere. The entire area outside the Luo residence was covered in corpses. They were all the elites of the Tiger Guards. They had brought tens of thousands of soldiers with them. The elite army of Tianyu's imperial family, which was enough to flatten the Luo residence and capture Old Master Luo, had been annihilated. What's going on? Prince De spat out blood as he looked at the scene in shock. Tens of thousands of soldiers. They had thought that if Luo Qingtong had left any trump cards in the Luo residence, they could use their strength and numbers to wipe them out. Old Master Luo would be under his control. And now, this army of tens of thousands had been completely annihilated. Prince De's face was filled with disbelief. The faces of the masters of the aristocratic families of the Eastern Border Kingdom who were lucky enough to survive were ashen. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. How was this possible? The Tianyu royal family's army was so strong, how could they be destroyed so easily? Even a clan on the same level as Tianyu's imperial family wouldn't be able to do it so cleanly. How long had it been since they entered the Luo family? With such speed, only a martial emperor expert who had directly entered the realm of unity of heaven and man would be able to destroy it with a single move. What the hell is going on? As for that martial emperor level old man, his face was also filled with astonishment. At this moment, a fiery red figure entered their sight. Evil Dr. Ghost Eye. Seeing Luo Qingtong appear in front of the Luo family's iron army, the Prince of De and the others opened their eyes wide and couldn't help but exclaim. She actually rushed back. Evil Dr. Ghost Eye. Chapter 568. Evil Dr. Gui Tong. Luo Qingtong is actually evil Dr. Gui Tong. No wonder Tianyu's royal family wants to deal with her at all costs. No wonder they are so desperate to deal with the Luo family. It turns out that he wants to control Luo Qingtong. They finally know why Tianyu's royal family wants to deal with the Luo family. No wonder they are willing to make the fifth prince a cuckold so that they can make a move on Luo Qingtong. It's because Luo Qingtong is evil Dr. Gui Tong. They know her identity, so they want to control her, and the Luo family is the best way to break through. Thinking of this, the aristocratic families of Dongli country are scared out of their wits. They are helping Tianyu's royal family to deal with evil Dr. Gui Tong. With Gui Tong's identity and ability, she can wipe them and their families out in minutes. What kind of bear hearts and leopard guts did they eat? If there is no medicine for regret in this world, they would have eaten a dozen. Especially the Qin family head, who was the first to stand up against the Luo family. He fainted on the spot in regret. He and old Master Luo were good friends. If he hadn't been blinded by greed, the Qin family would have been able to prosper. The group is filled with regret and shock. At this moment, the martial emperor powerhouse suddenly reacted to the situation. Haha. Luo Qingtong, you came at the right time. He greedily looked at the guns in the hands of the Luo family soldiers. He has a feeling that these guns are the reason why the Mang Tiger Guards were killed. For the Luo clan's Iron Army, whose strength was clearly inferior to the Mang Tiger Guards, to be able to kill so many Mang Tiger Guards in a few breaths of time, what kind of valiant existence was this weapon? And the array that enveloped the Luo family was so powerful that it almost killed Prince De and the rest. That was a group of martial emperor experts. That array is definitely Luo Qingtong's work. Weapon refiner, spiritual array master. In addition to evil Dr. Gui Tong's identity as an alchemist and her powerful medical skills. If they can get their hands on her, it will be very beneficial for Tianyu's royal family and these old guys who are stuck at the bottleneck of martial emperor cultivation. Haha. Luo Qingtong, we originally wanted to control that old bastard Luo Tong first, and then force you to come out of Tianyu Branch Academy. I didn't expect that you would actually rush back at this time. Even the heavens are helping us. His figure floated up. The aura of a martial emperor instantly spread out in all directions. The realm of oneness of heaven and man locked onto the sky. In an instant, a powerful and terrifying aura was emitted from his body. TSK. This old man was actually a superior martial emperor. Furthermore, he was about to break through to the peak. Tianyu's royal family is really something. Little Pig crawled out of Luo Qingtong's sleeve with a serious expression. At this moment, the martial emperor's voice rang out arrogantly. Luo Qingtong. Seeing that Mo is determined to marry you, you'd better surrender now and come back with me. We can even give you the status of a concubine in Tianyu's royal family. Otherwise, when I personally break your limbs and capture you, you won't even have the chance to be a concubine. That martial Grand Emperor realm expert had an arrogant expression. He looked at Luo Qingtong as if she was a fish in his palm and a turtle in a jar. Luo Qingtong raised her eyebrows and was about to speak. Chapter 569. This venerable's woman is your concubine? Hearing this angry voice, Luo Qingtong was stunned. She turned around and saw a silver-clothed, black-haired man with a dark golden mask walking out of the Luo clan's gate. That's right. He walked out of the Luo clan's gate. Luo Qingtong blinked, not knowing what was going on. Why was this man here? And in the Luo clan's residence? Luo Qingtong was so shocked that she didn't notice Yi Qianxian saying, "This venerable's woman." She also didn't know that Yi Qianxian had just been caught red-handed by the people from Tianyu clan as an adulterer. Just as she spoke, the face of the martial emperor on the other side suddenly darkened. He looked at Yi Qianren and shouted sternly, "Who are you?" When he saw Yi Qianxian in Luo Qingtong's room, the martial emperor didn't look carefully. He just glanced at him casually and knew there was such a man. Now he saw Yi Qianxian walking out of the Luo clan's gate. He was wearing a silver robe, and with a wave of his sleeves, he seemed to be carrying countless silver lights as he stepped on the path of stars. His black hair was like a waterfall, and the dark golden mask on his face was shining with cold light under the sun. The patterns on the mask were simple and gorgeous, low-key and luxurious. It was not an ordinary item. Hearing him call himself, this venerable, the martial emperor's face turned cold. How could he not know that this man was not sent by King Dongli? Yi Qianxian ignored him and looked at the surprised woman, who was looking at him with widened eyes. He snorted and said, "Why aren't you talking? Aren't you very talkative and arrogant in front of this venerable? Why are you not talking after being bullied this time?" This woman, when facing him, was all kinds of cunning and unscrupulous, and full of nonsense. Why was she not talking when he came this time? Luo Qingtong looked at him and felt a little guilty. She had really screwed this man over this time. When Luo Qingtong thought about how she had imprisoned a wisp of his soul and almost caused little Ming Zun to dissipate, she felt guilty as she looked at Yi Qianxian. The moment she saw the man appear, she subconsciously wanted to slip away. But thinking of the promise she made to little Ming Venerable, and the words, "I won't hurt you," Luo Qingtong couldn't run anymore. Forget it, I'll just be taught a lesson by this man. Anyway, she had a way to treat his meridians, so he probably wouldn't be too ruthless. But just as she was thinking this, the man suddenly said this. Luo Qingtong blinked her eyes and carefully analyzed the meaning behind Yi Qianxian's words. Then, she realized that he wanted to back her up. He didn't come here to settle accounts with her this time. Luo Qingtong looked at the man with a gloomy face and a domineering aura. Light flashed in her eyes. Then, she raised her hand and tried to point at the martial emperor expert. "My lord, he bullied me. He even said that he would destroy the Luo family and take me back to the Tianyu royal family to be Yuan Mo's concubine." Luo Qingtong's complaint was righteous. Anyway, this man asked her to say it. It would be a waste not to hug his thigh. This martial emperor expert was indeed difficult for her to deal with, not to mention the people of the Luo family. It was hard to guarantee that there would be no casualties. Thinking of this, Luo Qingtong didn't need moral integrity anymore. Chapter 570. Lord, even you didn't do this to me. The imperial family of Tianyu has gone too far. Luo Qingtong said indignantly. Her face was full of grievances. If Luo Qingtong were to act, she would definitely be an award-winning actress. Otherwise, how could she have completed so many missions in her previous life and escaped from so many people's pursuit? Even Yi Qianxian had fallen for her trick several times when he wasn't paying attention. Now that she had such an aggrieved expression, those who didn't know would think that the imperial family of Tianyu had done something inhumane to the Luo clan. However, the Mang tiger guards lying on the ground were all from the imperial family of Tianyu. The Luo clan, including Luo Qingtong, were completely fine. The people around him were all dumbfounded. They didn't expect the young miss to have such a side. What they didn't know was that in front of Yi Qianxian, Luo Qingtong had all kinds of faces. In order to escape from the man's hands, Luo Qingtong had almost used the 72 transformations. This face was only one of them. Yi Qianren harumphed coldly. Although he knew that this woman was definitely putting on an act, the anger in his heart still rose layer by layer when he heard her say that she had been bullied. For the first time, he felt that he had been too slow to find this woman. Otherwise, he wouldn't have allowed the imperial family of Tianyu to humiliate her like this. He couldn't bear to hurt this woman at all, but the imperial family of Tianyu dared to make her a concubine. They even wanted to break her limbs. Thinking of this, Yi Qianxian's bloodthirsty aura rose. He didn't make a move. Instead, he looked at Luo Qingtong with his hands behind his back and said, "With me here, you can bully them back." He would let this woman vent her anger. Shameless boasting. When the martial emperor expert saw Yi Qianren appear, his face was filled with bewilderment. However, after sensing Yi Qianxian's aura for a while, he couldn't sense anything. His expression changed from bewilderment to mockery. "Humph. Do you think that you can fool me by pretending to be a ghost? I'm not that stupid. Return to the original body. Why don't you say that you are the Blackfield's underworld venerable?" As soon as he said this, the people of Evil Valley looked at him strangely. Others might not know Yi Qianxian's identity, but they did. This was the supreme Blackfield. This martial emperor of Tianyu's royal family probably didn't know that he had guessed the truth. However, the martial emperor-level old man didn't notice their gazes at all. He only looked at Luo Qingtong and Yi Qianxian maliciously and said, "Luo Qingtong, I didn't expect you to actually have an adulterer at home. You're even so arrogant and unconcealable. You're really looking down on the dignity of Tianyu's royal family. Luo Qingtong, just wait for me to cripple you and bring you back. As for the status of a concubine, you can forget about it. A slut like you isn't worthy of mo. If Mo really wants you, then you can be a lowly slave. Anyway, this won't affect your service to Tianyu's royal family. As the martial emperor old man said this, he suddenly flew up like a vulture. His 5 fingers were like hooks, grabbing at Luo Qingtong fiercely. As for Yi Qianxian, he simply took him as a bluff to scare him. He didn't pay attention to him at all. However, just as he rose into the air, a voice rang out. Chapter 571. This. He froze in mid-air with a look of shock on his face. He could not move at all. Yi Qianxian did not even release his own aura. Just one look was enough to freeze the space and time around him. The martial emperor-level old man's boundless power, which seemed to have merged with his surroundings and could use the power of the heavens and the earth at will, was not worth mentioning in front of Yi Qianren. The man stared at him coldly. He could not tell if his aura was real or fake, but the martial emperor-level old man no longer dared to treat him as a powerless, nameless pawn. He froze him in mid-air with just one look, breaking his realm of being one with the heavens and causing all his power to be trapped in his body. He could not release it at all. What kind of valiant power was this? He was a martial emperor-level old man, not some random Tom, Dick, or Harry. However, in front of this man, he was like a speck of dust facing a tall mountain. The latter did not need to use any power at all. The wind from a random rock falling was enough to blow him away. That was what the martial emperor-level old man was feeling at this moment. The man looked at him as if he was looking at an overconfident ant. With a flick of his sleeve, crack crack crack. The martial emperor-level old man's bones were crushed into pieces in an instant. The power in his body was also crushed in an instant. Ah! A miserable cry of pain instantly burst out from his mouth. Yi Qianxian released the restraints and the martial emperor-level old man fell to the ground like a pile of mud. His body twitched violently and he gasped for breath like a dead fish on the ground. Yi Qianxian clasped his hands behind his back and looked at Luo Qingtong. I'll leave him for you to deal with. Luo Qingtong stared at him speechlessly. He had already beaten the old man to such a state and he was on his last breath. Why would he leave him for her to deal with? However, this martial emperor-level old man's mouth was too cheap. Luo Qingtong looked at the martial emperor with a dangerous gaze when she recalled that the other party had said that he would turn her into a lowly slave. I heard that the Black Field has a place that specializes in training sex slaves. I don't know if it's suitable for someone as old as him. Luo Qingtong rubbed her chin. The martial emperor's eyes narrowed when he heard her words. Not only because Luo Qingtong said she wanted to turn him into a sex slave, but also because of Luo Qingtong's words, your Black Field. Black Field, true body. This was a silver-clothed, black-haired man. The martial emperor-level expert stared at Yi Qianxian in shock and horror. His mouth was wide open as he let out sounds of shock and despair. Ming Zun. This silver-clothed, black-haired man was actually Black Field's Ming Zun. That was Supreme Black Field's Ming Zun. Thinking about how he had mocked and insulted the other party, and then thinking about how Luo Qingtong's lover was actually such a person, the martial emperor expert's eyes rolled back. He couldn't even breathe and was scared to death. Black Field's Ming Zun. The one who had an affair with Luo Qingtong was actually that Supreme Black Field's Ming Zun. Tianyu's royal family was finished. It's over. Filled with endless regret and despair, the martial emperor's eyes widened and he breathed his last. Seeing the other party die, Yi Qianxian frowned. Then he ignored him and set his eyes on Luo Qingtong. His eyes were deep and burning. Chapter 572. This woman can't escape this time, can she? Yi Qianxian looked at Luo Qingtong with a burning gaze. His thin lips moved slightly. Luo Qi, his voice had just sounded when suddenly, Luo Qingtong's expression changed. Swish. She jumped up and swept past Yi Qianxian in an instant. Her movement was so fast that Yi Qianxian didn't have time to react. Is this woman going to run away again? In an instant, the blue veins on Yi Qianxian's forehead bulged. He tried so hard to find this woman's whereabouts, but she still wanted to run away. Once she thought about losing this woman's trail again and not knowing when she would be able to find this cunning woman again, Yi Qianren felt like she wanted to destroy the world. But soon, he calmed down. Because he found that the direction Luo Qingtong rushed was none other than the Luo family. This woman wasn't going to escape. What happened in the Luo family? Yi Qianxian thought so, but he was still worried. His figure flashed and rushed in. This woman was too cunning. Who knew if she would disappear again after entering the Luo family? As Yi Qianren thought of this, she immediately followed him in. Grandpa. Luo Qingtong's eyes were cold. Just now, she felt that the protection she set on old Master Luo was triggered. As the only family member that Luo Qingtong valued, Luo Qingtong protected old Master Luo to the best of her ability. Especially after old Master Luo was schemed against by Luo Lao last time, Luo Qingtong was even more careful. At this moment, she felt as if her heart and soul had been deeply touched. Something happened to old Master Luo. Swish! Luo Qingtong rushed into the main courtyard. As soon as she rushed in, she saw Prince De resisting the Luo family's array and rushing toward old Master Luo, covered in blood. Haha! Luo Qingtong, I didn't expect you to have an affair with Blackfield's Ming Zun. It's over. It's all over. I'm finished. The entire imperial family of Tianyu is finished. Seeing Luo Qingtong rush in, Prince De's expression became extremely deranged. Who would have thought that Blackfield's Ming Zun would fall in love with Luo Qingtong? The Black Domain searched everywhere for the whereabouts of evil Dr. Gui Tong. It was for no other reason than to find Luo Qingtong. What a joke! They tried their best to slander Luo Qingtong, wanting to imprison her in Tianyu's royal family and make her serve them. But in the end, they caught the real adulterers. This adulterer was imperial family couldn't afford to offend him. If they had known about the relationship between Luo Qingtong and Black Region Underworld Venerable, they would never have dared to attack the Luo family, let alone imprison Luo Qingtong and make her a puppet of the royal family. Now that everything was exposed, neither he nor the royal family of Tianyu would have any chance of survival. Blackfield's Ming Zun was powerful enough to cover the sky. Even the four sacred dynasties couldn't do anything about him. They could only let him develop his influence and take root in the four sacred dynasties. He was a peerless powerhouse who had developed Blackfield's inner city. For such a powerhouse, erasing the imperial family of Tianyu would be as easy as eating and drinking. The moment Prince De heard the news, he knew that he and the imperial family of Tianyu were done for. The only one who could survive was Yuan Mo, who was in the Empire of Qin's Sacred Academy and didn't know what they were doing. Haha. Luo Qingtong, even if I can't live, I'll make you suffer for the rest of your life. Chapter 573. Self-explosion. Prince De detonated all the power in his body. The power of the peak of the martial royal realm was compressed in an instant and then exploded violently. The shock wave of the explosion was almost equivalent to the full blow of an ordinary martial emperor realm expert. And old Master Luo was right in front of him. He had completely withstood this wave of attack. Grandpa. Seeing this, Luo Qingtong's eyes turned red instantly. Whoosh! She dashed over in an instant. At the same time, Yi Qianxian waved his sleeve. Instantly, the violent attack of Prince Do was frozen in place. The terrifying attack that didn't even have the time to wreak havoc was instantly imprisoned in place, and silently extinguished. The power of the Sage Realm was never something that could be estimated by ordinary people. Prince De used his life in exchange for this violent attack. Yi Qianren didn't even put it in her eyes. She just casually waved her hand and the power completely disappeared. However, old Master Luo was nowhere to be seen. Grandpa. Luo Qingtong dashed over. In an instant, her blood eyes opened. At this moment, she did not care that she might reveal the secret of her pupil's skill in front of Yi Qianxian. Anyway, this man had already seen through many of her pupil's skill's secrets. She could not hide it from him for long. Moreover, since he had found her and she was not going to run away, she would naturally treat his injuries. In this way, the secret of her pupil's skill would still be exposed. When little Nether Venerable disappeared, she was actually willing to believe his words. He wouldn't hurt her. Whoosh! Luo Qingtong's strength had been promoted to the intermediate martial king realm. She could activate and support more pupil skills. The blood-red light in her eyes intensified. In an instant, the scene of Prince Da's self-detonation was reflected in her eyes. The supreme pupil skill, time reversal. As if it was replayed in slow motion, the scene suddenly appeared in Luo Qingtong's blood eyes. F***CK. Little Pig, who had jumped out of Luo Qingtong's sleeve, was stunned by this scene. *T, this woman is abnormal again. This is too much. Time reversal. Even if an expert of the sage realm had mastered a certain amount of the law of heaven and earth, no, even if an expert of the sage realm and above understood the operation of the law of heaven and earth and began to comprehend the law of heaven, only a very few people could use this skill. Although Luo Qingtong's time reversal could only be used to replay images and could not turn back time in reality, it was already very powerful. This was a space-time skill. The law of time and space was the domain of gods. Once it was mastered by a master Luo Qingtong's god's time, Luo Qingtong's Qingtong. Little Pig's eyes widened as he watched Luo Qingtong use her eye technique in shock. Yi Qianxian also looked at Luo Qingtong with a deep gaze. In the next second, he sensed that the people of the Luo family and little Overlord Yuan had arrived. He immediately waved his hand, and a light wall surrounded Luo Qingtong in an instant, preventing others from prying into what she was doing. Chapter 574. Yi Qianxian subconsciously protected Luo Qingtong, guarding her secret. This woman, her magic, her beauty, it was enough for him to know. The others didn't need to know. Young Miss. Boss. Seeing Luo Qingtong surrounded by the wall of light, the others didn't know that it was created by Yi Qianxian to protect Luo Qingtong. They thought she was under attack and subconsciously wanted to rush forward, but Yi Qianxian stopped them. Your young miss is fine. Don't cause trouble. Yi Qianxian didn't know if there were any taboos for Luo Qingtong to use this skill, but for safety's sake, he wouldn't let anyone disturb her. The man's voice was cold. His body floated in the air, emitting an invisible and oppressive aura. Almost instantly, everyone was suppressed to the ground, unable to resist at all. Little Overlord Yuan and the others were directly suppressed to the ground. At this moment, the wall of light shattered with a swoosh, and Luo Qingtong walked out from it. Her face was slightly pale, as if she had overexerted herself, but she looked very relieved and relieved. Obviously, Grandfather Luo was fine. But, where did that old man go? Yi Qianxian raised his eyebrows. When Prince Da self-destructed, he seemed to have felt a trace of spatial fluctuation. Life and death interdependence curse? He was just thinking about it and was about to tell Luo Qingtong, but he saw the girl's expression turn serious. She directly left in a hurry, surrounded by the Luo family's Iron Army and Evil Valley's people. She didn't even notice him. Looking at Luo Qingtong's departing figure, the completely forgotten Yi Qianxian, the veins on his forehead bulged again. At this moment, a Luo family's Iron Army hurriedly rushed back and said to Yi Qianxian, "Young master, our young miss said she has something to do and will be back later. She asked you to wait in the residence for a while." After Luo Qingtong went out, she remembered that there was a big Buddha that she had forgotten in the Luo family. Thinking about Yi Qianxian's temper, she was afraid that he would think that she had run away again. If he lost control of his aura and destroyed the Luo family, who would she cry to? Immediately, he sent a soldier of the Luo clan to report back. Yi Qianxian, who was fuming with anger and was about to dash out to capture Luo Qingtong, instantly gnashed his teeth when he heard this. This woman, to think she still remembered him. He was a dignified underworld venerable. Wherever he went, he would be welcomed by tens of thousands of people. Only this woman could come and go at his beck and call. But he couldn't do anything to her. Glaring at the direction Luo Qingtong left for a while, Yi Qianxian coldly ordered the Luo family's iron soldier, "Lead the way. I'm going to your eldest miss' room to rest." Didn't he ask him to wait? He would wait in her room. He wanted to see when that woman would come back. If she dared to lie to him again. Yi Qianxian kept saying he for a long time, but there was nothing he could do. He couldn't bear to hurt that woman. With a stomach full of gloominess, he walked with a cold face towards Luo Qingtong's courtyard. Before he left, he didn't forget to ask Bei Qing and Feng Yu to follow Luo Qingtong and make sure that nothing happened to her. Yi Qianxian guessed that that woman must have gone to Tianyu's royal family to settle accounts. Grandfather Luo had such a big accident. Even if he was lucky to be fine, Luo Qingtong definitely wouldn't let it go. Not to mention that Tianyu's royal family clearly knew that she was the evil Dr. Ghost Eye and still wanted to control her. Yi Qianxian naturally couldn't let Luo Qingtong suffer. No matter how angry his woman made him, it was his business to teach her a lesson. Chapter 575. Swoosh. Outside the Luo family, Luo Qingtong led the iron guards of the Luo family and the people of the Evil Valley into the courtyard of the Tianyu imperial family. They captured Prince Cheng and the others who were recovering. You? Luo Qingtong? Prince Cheng and the others were shocked to see Luo Qingtong and the others. What happened? Why was Luo Qingtong here? Shouldn't she be in the Tianyu branch? Because Luo Qingtong was in the Tianyu branch, they couldn't touch her. That was why they started with the Luo residence. They didn't expect her to be here. What about Granduncle and the others? Prince Cheng's eyes widened when he suddenly thought of this question. You're looking for them? Luo Qingtong waved her hand and ordered the bodies of the martial Grand Emperor and the Tianyu imperial family to be brought up. The girl's beautiful face was filled with a cold smile. Why, are you shocked? Don't worry, there's more to come. Luo Qingtong waved her hand, take them all away. In addition, all the clans who helped the Tianyu imperial family to harm the Luo family must be massacred. Today, I'll dye the eastern fence wall with blood. Whip the bodies of the heads of those clans and hang them on the city gate. Luo Qingtong's lips were filled with a bloodthirsty smile. Perhaps she had been too easy to talk to, so the clans of the Eastern Fence country joined them to attack the Luo family after the Tianyu imperial family made it clear that they wanted to deal with the Luo family. If she wasn't ruthless enough before, then she would change. This time, she would let everyone know how angry they would be if they attacked the Luo family. If those external troubles could not be eradicated, then she would let everyone know how terrifying it was to dare to touch her Luo family. Even if those people could tear off a piece of flesh from the Luo family, they would be killed by her. Grandfather Luo's disappearance had completely triggered the bloodthirsty beast hidden in Luo Qingtong's heart. What these people didn't know was that she, Evil Eye, had never been a kind person. However, for the development of the Luo family and the existence of Old Master Luo, she slightly suppressed the evil in her bones. Otherwise, according to her previous temperament, how could the royal family of Tianyu plot against her? She had already taken it away at all costs. It was precisely because she was worried about the Luo family and had the shackles of kinship that she restrained herself a little. However, those people seemed to have taken her tolerance as a concession. In that case, she would let them know the consequences of angering her. Rumble. Luo Qingtong took out the gloomy and cold Rakshasa mask from her bosom and put it on her face with a sneer. In just a moment, she had turned into that demonic youth that overflowed with evil energy, the one who had attracted the attention of countless holy dynasty influences, the one who was sought after by everyone within the entire True Spill continent, evil Dr. Ghost Pupil. Let's go to the Tianyu Empire's imperial city. Playing with the wind and thunder sword in her hands, Luo Qingtong's voice was cold, carrying with it a chilling aura. Today, I will slaughter the royal family of Tianyu. Shwa. Chapter 576. Tianyu Empire, Imperial City. At this moment, the most prosperous city in Tianyu Empire had entered a state of level 1 alert. Emperor Tianyu stood on the walls of the Imperial Palace, glaring angrily at the army besieging the Imperial City. Ling Feng. Are you Duke Ling's people crazy? How dare you mobilize your private army to besiege the Imperial City? Are you trying to rebel? Emperor Tianyu was still dreaming about controlling Luo Qingtong when he heard a report that Duke Ling's people had mobilized their army to besiege the Imperial City. He thought it was fake, but it turned out to be true. How dare the people from Duke Ling's mansion? How dare they attack the Imperial family at this time? Did they plan this from the start? Emperor Tianyu was furious. He had mobilized tens of thousands of elite tiger guards to deal with House Luo. They should have Master Luo under control by now. Otherwise, how could Duke Ling's people have the chance to invade the Imperial City? Ling Feng. I advise you not to make a mistake. Emperor Tianyu looked coldly at Duke Ling's people. Although all the elite tiger guards have been mobilized, the Imperial City's 3 armies are still loyal to the Imperial family. You mobilized the Ling army and the Middle army to besiege the Imperial City. Do you really think the Imperial City's 3 armies will let you do whatever you want? Your Majesty is right. On the back of the horse, the old Duke Ling, who was already 60 years old, laughed out loud. He had just received news that evil Dr. Ghost I was on his way here. With that person's ability and House Lanyue's help, the Imperial family of Tianyu was isolated and helpless in the Imperial City. Even if the Tiger Guards hadn't been mobilized, they were nothing in front of evil Dr. Ghostai and House Lanyue. He looked at Emperor Tianyu with pity. Your Majesty, you don't have to wait. The Imperial City's 3 armies are blocked by House Lanyue's people outside the city. You should know how powerful that family is. That's a force comparable to a sacred dynasty. If not for old Master Lanyue being nostalgic and wanting to settle down in Sky Universe Imperial City, they would never have appeared in our empire. With them here, Your Majesty, you don't need to think about reinforcements. Other than us, no other army will enter the Imperial City. Old Duke Ling's words instantly made Emperor Tianyu's face turn ashen. The Lanyue family. It was actually the Lanyue family. Their aristocratic family had made a move. How is this possible? He exclaimed, the Lanyue family has a special status and will never interfere in the affairs of the empire or help Duke Ling's mansion to usurp the throne against the royal family of Tianyu. There must be some misunderstanding. Haha. Old Duke Ling laughed heartily. Your Majesty, don't you know? It was evil Dr. Ghostai who asked the Lanyue family to take action and cut off all of your royal family's paths of survival. I'm also very curious. Just what did you do to make that evil Dr. Ghostai, who is at the pinnacle of the Black Field and even the entire True Spill continent, swear that he won't rest until he exterminates your royal family? Evil Dr. Ghostai's? Emperor Tianyu's mind buzzed when he heard these words. It was her. Luo Qingtong. It was actually her. Did she know what they did to the Luo family, so she came to take revenge? While Emperor Tianyu was still in a daze, Wang, in the sky, a series of buzzing sounds could be heard. Chapter 577. It was a gigantic spiritual airship, flying over the imperial city of the Tianyu Empire as if no one was there. The forbidden space array that enveloped the imperial capital had no effect on this flying ship at all. Earth-level flying ship. This huge object that was flying towards them was an Earth-grade spirit ship. In the True Spill continent, this was something that only the direct descendants of the major factions of the Holy Dynasty or above could use. Even the powerhouses of the Empire of Qin's Holy Dynasty couldn't have it. Such a flying ship actually appeared in the imperial city of Tianyu Empire at this moment. Almost instantly, everyone's attention was drawn to the Earth-grade spaceship. No one knew who would appear here at this time. Rumble. As the Earth-level flying ship appeared here without any concealment, Tianyu Emperor's eyes widened. He suddenly thought of a name and looked at the spaceship with an indescribable fear. Evil Doctor Ghost Eye. It was Luo Qingtong. It must be Luo Qingtong. Old Duke Ling also thought of this. He immediately ordered people to calm the restless army and went to greet the Earth-level flying ship. Is the one on the flying ship Evil Doctor Ghost Eye? He shouted from below, I am Duke Ling, Ling Feng. I respectfully invite Evil Doctor Ghost Eye to appear. Old Duke Ling's voice was very excited. He didn't think that he would be able to receive such an opportunity in his old age. When Ling Tianhan contacted him and said that Evil Doctor Ghost Eye wanted to destroy the imperial family of Tianyu Empire and replace them with the Ling family, he thought he was dreaming. But then his grandson sent him a message saying that Evil Doctor Ghost Eye would cure his hand and would ask the Lanua family to help. The Lanua family. With that family helping, the matter of forcing the emperor to abdicate was almost a success. Old Duke Ling's heart had never been so calm. He was almost filled with joy as he spoke to the Earth-level flying ship. Following his voice, everyone in the imperial palace fixed their eyes on the door of the flying ship. In the next second, with a loud bang, the doors of the spirit ship opened and a figure stepped out. Luo Qingtong's red clothes fluttered in the wind and her face was covered with a dark and cold Rakshasa mask. She looked like a bloodthirsty Azura from the boundless purgatory as she walked out of the cabin door of the flying ship. Behind her was a group of fully armed soldiers from the Luo family and the Evil Valley. Little Overlord Yuan, Sima Ju, Su Xiaoxiao, Ling Yu, and Ling Tianhan were by her side. Yu, Tianhan. Old Duke Ling's face was filled with indescribable joy when he saw his grandson and granddaughter disembarking from the spirit ship and following beside Evil Dr. Gui Tong. As expected, the relationship between his grandchildren and the Evil Dr. Ghost Eye was not ordinary. No wonder such a good thing like changing the dynasty would fall on their Ling family. Luo Qingtong's father, Luo Qingtong's family, Luo Qingtong's Luo family. The reason why the Ling family was chosen was probably because of his grandsons. Their Ling family really hit the jackpot this time. Thinking of this, old Duke Ling happily went up to the group of people. Evil Dr. Ghost Eye, he said respectfully as he stared at Luo Qingtong who was at the front. Even if he had never seen Evil Dr. Ghost Eye before, he definitely wouldn't mistake her for someone else. Chapter 578. Emperor of Tianyu. Luo Qingtong mockingly looked at the majestic man in a dragon robe. Looking at his appearance, he already knew her identity. Knowing that she was the Evil Dr. Ghost Eye, he still dared to send the betrothal gifts to the Luo clan. Tens of thousands of Mang Tiger Guards were sent to destroy her Luo clan, right? If she didn't get the news, the Luo clan would be trampled to the ground. Grandfather Luo would fall into the hands of these people and be used to blackmail her. Unfortunately, they didn't know what kind of a terrifying evil spirit she was. In her previous life, there were many forces that wanted to control her and make her work for them. But those people all died in the end. Emperor of Tianyu and the royal family were no exception. Luo. Seeing Luo Qingtong in front of him wearing a Luo Sha mask, Emperor of Tianyu's face was pale with fear. Since he already knew Luo Qingtong's identity, he naturally knew why she was here. But what's going on? Shouldn't Luo Qingtong be in the Tianyu Branch Academy? The latter opened the Kai Yuan secret realm, so Luo Qingtong should be there to gain experience. How could she appear here and know about their plan against the Luo clan? Emperor of Tianyu looked at Luo Qingtong with eyes full of shock. It's not that they didn't think of directly attacking Luo Qingtong, but she was in the Tianyu Branch Academy and they couldn't find a chance to do so. What's more, they didn't want Luo Qingtong's identity to be known by everyone. After all, they wanted to control her in their hands, so the less they knew about her identity, the better. Therefore, they wanted to start with the Luo clan and use Luo Qingtong's betrayal of the royal engagement as an excuse to openly attack Luo Qingtong and control her in their hands. But how did this plan get exposed? Emperor of Tianyu dared to guarantee that other than the most important people in the royal family, no one else knew about their plan. They hid it so well, but Luo Qingtong still saw through it. What kind of girl was she? Looking at Luo Qingtong in front of him, Emperor Tianyu's heart was filled with regret and fear. He couldn't control his body and trembled violently. If he had known earlier, he would have treated Luo Qingtong and the Luo family better. If that was the case, the other party would have already become a helper of Tianyu's royal family. Evil Dr. Ghost Eye. Emperor Tianyu forced himself to remain calm as he looked at the demonic young man below. He originally wanted to call out Luo Qingtong's name, but he seemed to have thought of something and swallowed the words back down. This time, it's our fault. We were blinded by greed. But with the relationship between our families and Mo's feelings for you. He looked at Luo Qingtong and said in a trembling voice, "If you let us go, we will drop this matter. Tianyu's royal family has nothing to do with you anymore. We won't reveal your identity to anyone else. What do you think?" Emperor Tianyu's words were both a plea and a threat. The meaning of his words was very clear. He was willing to cancel the engagement between Yuan Mo and Luo Qingtong. He also promised not to reveal Luo Qingtong's identity as long as she let them go. He wouldn't reveal Luo Qingtong's identity. He was using this to threaten Luo Qingtong. If she didn't let them go, he would reveal Luo Qingtong's identity. He would expose her and the Luo family to the world. Chapter 579. Hearing his words, Luo Qingtong found it funny. "Are you threatening me?" She raised her Rakshasa mask and stared coldly at Emperor Tianyu with her crimson eyes. Luo Qingtong's lips curled up. "You can try and see if you can say anything about me." If she didn't want anyone to say anything, no one would be able to. Emperor Tianyu really didn't know the meaning of death by threatening her. No, they were already acting recklessly when they attacked her and the Luo clan. Luo Qingtong coldly looked at Emperor Tianyu. The latter was shocked when he heard her words. "You!" Luo Qingtong. He wanted to call out Luo Qingtong's name, but he found that no matter how he opened his mouth, he could not say anything related to Luo Qingtong. Even the words Luo clan and the engagement were taboo. How was this possible? Emperor of Tianyu's eyes widened. He tried again and again in disbelief. After confirming that this was indeed the case, his expression changed. His legs went soft and he almost fell to his knees. Emperor Tianyu shook off the eunuch who came to support him and looked down at Luo Qingtong with horror. "You! What did you do to me?" "Not to him, but to everyone here." Luo Qingtong looked coldly at Emperor Tianyu who was panicking above the imperial city. Since she was here, how could she give the Tianyu imperial family a chance to reveal her identity? Emperor Tianyu really underestimated her evil Dr. Ghost eyes. "Do it." Too lazy to talk nonsense with him, Luo Qingtong directly raised her right hand. His eyes were filled with bloodthirsty killing intent as he looked at the huge and majestic imperial city. It made his pair of demonic blood-red eyes look incomparably beautiful. It was as if countless bloody colors were leaking out from that pair of eyes. The killing intent was awe-inspiring, cold, and resolute. "Kill. Everyone from the Tianyu imperial family, kill. No. Pardon." Following Luo Qingtong's words, which were full of killing intent, the Luo clan's Iron Army and the Evil Valley's people behind her instantly moved. Old Duke Ling also gave the order to attack at this moment. However, looking at the slightly weaker strength of the Luo clan's Iron Army, his expression was a little strange. The strength of these people seemed to be a little weak. How could the people around His Excellency Evil Dr. Ghost Eye be so powerful? He hesitated, wondering if he should suggest to Luo Qingtong that the Luo family's Iron Army should not make a move, lest they be lost here for no reason. After all, their strength was far from the strength of the elites of the top aristocratic families of the empire. However, the moment old Duke Ling thought that, he was immediately slapped in the face. Bang bang bang. The Luo clan's Iron Army, holding the spiritual chi spears given by Luo Qingtong, were even more powerful than the elites of the Ling clan's Iron Army. Old Duke Ling stared at the strange weapons in the hands of the Luo clan's Iron Army, dumbfounded. They only needed a little strength to drive the weapons to turn the spiritual qi in the air into attacks, which was far beyond their own strength. What kind of weapons were these? Why had he never seen them before? Could it be that His Excellency Evil Dr. Ghost I was not only an alchemist with amazing medical skills, but also a blacksmith? As old Duke Ling was thinking, his hand that was stroking his beard couldn't help but pull out a handful of his beard. It was so painful that he almost cried. Chapter 580. A huge defensive array suddenly appeared above Tianyu Royal City, blocking all the attacks from the Luo and Ling armies. Buzz! Ripples spread out from the huge defensive array. The attacks of the Luo clan's Iron Army and the Ling clan's army were all absorbed by the defensive array. In the next second, a series of attacks suddenly shot out from the array formation. It was a similar array to the one Luo Qingtong had set up in the Luo family. It could absorb and reflect attacks. This was the array that the Tianyu royal family had set up over 1,000 years. It was the most important defense of Tianyu Royal City and also its last line of defense. It would not be activated unless it was a matter of life and death. Rumble. The array spun rapidly. Wave after wave of attacks instantly rushed towards the Ling army and the Luo family's Iron Army. At the same time, a few figures with powerful auras appeared beside the Emperor of Tianyu on the city walls. Humph! Evil physician Gui Tong. What an arrogant tone. You want to destroy the Tianyu royal family. These figures were the martial emperors of the Tianyu royal family. They still had injuries on their bodies, but their martial emperor's auras were enough to intimidate everyone. If you reveal your true identity as the evil physician Ghost Eye and ask for help from the Dark Domain or a group of celestial dynasties, we might be a little afraid of you. But you want to destroy the Tianyu royal family with just these people from the Ling family? What a joke. One of the martial emperors looked arrogant as he looked at Luo Qingtong with greed and malice. Luo Qingtong was too arrogant. She did not reveal her identity and came to the various forces to help. She probably did not want those forces to find out her whereabouts. She was stupid. Did she think that she could destroy the Tianyu royal family with just these people? Even if she asked the Wanyu family to help, they were blocking the Tianyu royal family's army outside the city. Before they arrived, they could capture Luo Qingtong. They would not dare to act rashly. Haha. Luo Qingtong, you're the one who brought it to me. The martial emperor-level powerhouse laughed heartily. In the next second, his figure flashed and he appeared beside Luo Qingtong. To catch bandits, first catch the ringleader. His expression was cold and stern. His 5 fingers were like hooks as he instantly grabbed at Luo Qingtong's throat. After I capture you, let's see who else dares to go against our Tianyu royal family. This martial emperor-grade powerhouse had just entered the martial emperor realm. As he moved, an awe-inspiring aura shot towards Luo Qingtong to bind her. The space around the latter began to condense. This was the power of a martial emperor in the union of heaven and man realm. Not only were they able to launch their own attacks, but they were also able to use their own attacks to manipulate the surrounding spirit qi to restrict their opponent's movements. This was the so-called unity of man and nature. However, this martial emperor had been injured before and had not fully recovered yet. His attacks were much weaker than those of ordinary martial emperors who had just entered the martial emperor realm. The spirit qi surrounding Luo Qingtong was also not enough to restrict her movements. Seeing this martial emperor realm powerhouse attacking her, Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes. Chapter 581. Swish. Luo Qingtong raised her hand and waved. Heaven-conquering skill. Seize heaven's fortune. Following Luo Qingtong's shout, a beam of sword light suddenly flew out from the life and death two right sword in her hand. It flew towards the martial emperor expert who suddenly opened his eyes wide. Bang! Under Luo Qingtong's pupil technique, The beam of sword light broke through the lingering spiritual chi of heaven and earth around the martial emperor expert as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. It broke through his defense and slashed into his body through the wound caused by Yi Qianxian. You! The martial emperor expert's eyes were filled with horror. Luo Qingtong's attack was too accurate. It directly hit his previous wound. More importantly, she was only at the intermediate martial king realm. However, with the help of that sword move, she was able to exert the strength of a martial emperor. Martial king realm. How old was Luo Qingtong? Furthermore, the sword move that she displayed was actually able to raise her attack power to such an extent. Just what level of martial skill was it? Sage realm? Or even higher? She was only at the martial king realm, but she was able to use a sword move of the sage realm. How monstrous was Luo Qingtong? What kind of treasure did the royal family of Tianyu miss out on? Such a person should have been the daughter-in-law of the royal family of Tianyu. The newly advanced martial emperor widened his eyes and breathed his last with a remaining grievance. Plop. His body fell heavily to the ground. Third brother. Seeing the martial emperor expert die, the martial emperors on the city wall instantly changed their expressions. They looked at Luo Qingtong as if they were looking at a monster. An intermediate martial king realm expert killed a martial emperor expert. Even if third brother was injured, it was not the reason why Luo Qingtong could kill him. Monstrous. Too monstrous. They knew Luo Qingtong's identity very well. Others were shocked and in awe of the evil Dr. Ghost Eye's strength, but they were indescribably cold. Luo Qingtong was only 15 years old this year, right? The talent and strength she displayed had far surpassed the top geniuses of the sacred dynasties. Even the royal families of the four sacred dynasties could not cultivate a genius like Luo Qingtong. The talent and potential that Yu Wenma had displayed was nothing in front of Luo Qingtong. Not to mention that she was an alchemist with amazing medical skills. She was highly sought after. Such a Luo Qingtong was definitely a disaster to the royal family of Tianyu. She had to be eradicated at all costs. Previously, these people still wanted to imprison and control Luo Qingtong because of her identity as the evil Dr. Ghost Eye. But now, after witnessing her terrifying talent and strength, they no longer had such thoughts. This was a magnificent phoenix that was destined to soar into the 9 heavens. They could not control her at all. The best way would be to kill her before she matured. Otherwise, what awaited the royal family would be a disaster. The martial emperors were filled with unspeakable regret. If they had known that Luo Qingtong's talent and strength were so monstrous, they would not have thought of controlling her. They would have killed her at all costs. But it was not too late now. Thinking of this, the martial emperors looked at Luo Qingtong with eyes full of killing intent. Attack together. We can't let her leave alive. The oldest and most respected martial emperor of the royal family of Tianyu shouted sternly. Chapter 582. Swoosh. 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 They were extremely fast. At this point in time, these martial emperors could no longer care about their own dignity. They couldn't care less about how shameless it was for a group of martial emperors to attack a junior like Luo Qingtong. In their opinion, Luo Qingtong's talent and ability were too demonic. No matter what price they had to pay, they had to keep such a demonic talent here. What was dignity? For the future of the Tianyu imperial family and their lives, it was not worth mentioning. Boss. Seeing the group of martial emperors attacking Luo Qingtong, Little Overlord Yuan and the others were shocked. The Luo family Iron Army and the people from Evil Valley were also shocked. Eldest Miss. Master. These people from the Tianyu imperial family were too shameless. No one expected that they would join forces to attack Luo Qingtong. A group of martial emperors attacking a junior of the intermediate martial king realm, how shameless were they? Grandpa. Ling Yu stomped her feet and called Duke Ling. Duke Ling's mansion also had martial emperors, but they did not have as many martial emperors as the Tianyu imperial family. However, before they could do anything, the Tianyu imperial family attacked Luo Qingtong. Seeing the group of martial emperors rushing towards her, Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes. The blood-red light in his eyes was extremely intense. Luo Qingtong could dodge the attack of the nine-blade assassin, so it was impossible for the group of martial emperors to surround Luo Qingtong. Just as she was about to rush out of the gap in the encirclement of the group of people. Bang! 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 The few martial grand emperors who were rushing towards Luo Qingtong suddenly seemed to have been attacked. One by one, they spat out blood and flew out. Boom! The group of people crashed heavily on the protective array above the Tianyu imperial city. The light on the defensive array trembled violently, and ripples spread across its surface. Suddenly, in the next second, the defensive formation exploded. Bang bang bang! A huge force exploded in all directions. In an instant, screams of agony could be heard in Sky Universe Royal City. Those from Tianyu's imperial family all fell to the ground screaming. In the blink of an eye, the group of elite Tiger Guard and Tianyu imperial family members surrounding the imperial city decreased by a whole circle. Emperor Tianyu was also thrown to the ground by the shockwaves. The berserk power exploded and pierced through his body. However, such intense pain didn't elicit any reaction from Emperor Tianyu. He just raised his head and looked at the group of people who suddenly appeared beside Luo Qingtong in shock. How dare you? Do you think you can humiliate the matriarch of Blackfield? Bei Qing and Feng Yu floated beside Luo Qingtong as they stared coldly in the direction of Tianyu Royal City. Mistress of the Black Field. Emperor Tianyu almost couldn't breathe after hearing this and almost fainted on the spot. Luo Qingtong was the matriarch of the Black Field? Didn't that mean that Ming Zun of the Black Field? That Ming Zun was together with Luo Qingtong? Emperor Tianyu's body twitched violently as he looked in Luo Qingtong's direction with shock and despair. Who would have thought that this would be the outcome? If they had offended Luo Qingtong and evil Dr. Ghost Eye, they might have had a slim chance of survival. Chapter 583. It's over. It's over. Emperor Tianyu couldn't take it anymore. With a bang, he fell down from the city wall, smashing his head against the wall. His head was bleeding and he was no longer breathing. Luo Qingtong didn't have time to pay attention to Bei Qing and Feng Yu's words. Her eyes were fixed on Tianyu Imperial City, which had lost its protection. Her eyes were bloodshot and filled with killing intent, making her look like an Azura from hell. Kill. She waved her hand and pointed her sword at Tianyu Imperial City. Leave no one alive from Tianyu's imperial family. If you don't remove the roots, they'll grow again. Tianyu's imperial family had persecuted her and the Luo clan time and time again. First they wanted to control her, then they wanted to kill her. A death grudge had already been formed. In this strange world where one could sacrifice everything for one's family, Luo Qingtong wouldn't leave any trouble for herself and the Luo clan. To be merciful to the enemy is to be cruel to oneself. If she hadn't seen through Tianyu's imperial family scheme, the Luo clan would be dead now. Dragons have reverse scales, phoenixes have feathers. Touch and you'll die. The Luo clan and Old Master Luo were her only source of warmth in this strange world. Whoever touched them would die. Yes. Following Luo Qingtong's order, the entire Luo clan's army and Evil Valley's army moved. Seeing Luo Qingtong being surrounded by the martial emperors of Tianyu's imperial family, everyone's hearts were in their throats. Now that he saw that she was fine, his anger and murderous intent instantly ignited. How dare they lay their hands on the young miss? These Tianyu's imperial family members deserved to die. Duke Ling's men were also frightened by Luo Qingtong's dangerous situation. Hearing the order, they also rushed towards Tianyu Imperial City. Especially those martial emperors of Duke Ling's mansion who didn't have time to act. They were filled with killing intent. If anything happened to evil Dr. Gui Tong in front of them, they wouldn't be able to bear the wrath of the Black Field. But, at the same time, the group of people was also very puzzled. Evil Dr. Gui Tong was actually the matriarch of the Black Field. This isn't Sir Evil Physician a man? Everyone stole glances at Luo Qingtong's slender figure. That devilish figure, that peerlessly domineering aura, and that wanton demonic temperament, no matter how he looked at it, it didn't look like a woman. So, that Supreme Black Field was actually a homosexual? The group was horrified by their own imaginations, but soon, they felt relieved. If it was the evil Dr. Ghost Eye, then it was normal for the Supreme of the Black Field to be a homosexual. Because the other party was too monstrous, too dazzling. Rumble. As the group of people charged into Sky Universe Royal City, cries of agony could be heard everywhere. The people of Sky Universe Royal City resisted stubbornly. There were even people who cursed Luo Qingtong loudly. Luo Qingtong didn't pay any attention to them. She just coldly swept forward. Empress Tianyu's palace. Because they were in the inner court of the royal palace, the people here didn't know that Sky Universe Royal City had already been breached. At this moment, Empress Tianyu was talking to Yu Wenxue in her palace. "Mother, is everything okay outside? Duke Ling's men won't attack, right?" Yu Wenxue asked worriedly. "Humph. What do you think our Tianyu's imperial family is? Their Duke Ling's men want to replace our Tianyu's imperial family? Dream on." Empress Tianyu's face was filled with mockery. Chapter 584. Humph. At this time, the Mang Tiger Guards should have already flattened the Luo family, right? Slowly picking up a fresh flower that a maid just picked from outside, the Empress of Tianyu's face is gloomy and cold. With a snap, she broke the flower branch and crumpled the blossoming flower into a ball. I really can't wait to see Luo Qingtong's face when she finds out that the Luo family has been destroyed and is in so much pain that she wants to die. When that old fart from the Luo family is captured, this empress will definitely properly entertain him. I will let him enjoy all the torture in this world and then have Luo Qingtong personally witness it. Only then will I be able to dispel the hatred in my heart. This empress will torture her bit by bit, let her live a life worse than death, to pay tribute to my Fei family's spirit in heaven. The Empress of Tianyu's voice is sharp. Right. Yu Wenxue is also filled with jealousy, we must properly torture her. Mother Empress, scratch her face first. Then cripple her strength and let her live like a dog. Yu Wenxue never thought that Luo Qingtong would actually be the evil Dr. Ghost Eye. When she came back from the Tianyu Branch Academy and heard this news, she didn't dare to believe it. Evil Dr. Ghost Eye. Thinking of the Kai Yuan's secret realm, it was the other party who saved them. That monstrous talent and ability. Then thinking of how Luo Qingtong fought against Yi Qingqing's group and injured their entire team, Yu Wenxue's heart is filled with jealousy. How can Luo Qingtong be the evil Dr. Ghost Eye? How can she be the evil Dr. Ghost Eye? That person that she can't even look up to? Luo Qingtong is only fit to be a dog at her feet. She can humiliate, beat, and scold her as she pleases. How can she become so dazzling? Yu Wenxue can't accept it. But now, Imperial Father and Imperial Mother want to deal with her. In the end, Luo Qingtong can only be humiliated as she pleases. Thinking that she can trample the evil Dr. Ghost Eye under her feet, Yu Wenxue's heart is filled with joy. But this joy doesn't last for long. It seems that the Empress and the 7th Princess miss me very much. Luo Qingtong kicked open the door of the bedroom with a bang. She'd overheard the conversation between the Tianyu Empress and Yu Wenxue. Luo, you? Why are you here? Seeing Luo Qingtong's disguise, Empress of Tianyu wanted to call out Luo Qingtong's name. However, she couldn't open her mouth. She looked at Luo Qingtong in shock, but the latter just looked at her with a cold smile. Of course I'm here to send you guys off and get something. However, I've changed my mind. The Empress of Tianyu and Yu Wenxue had already planned out their future, so how could Luo Qingtong not help them? Luo Qingtong strode in front of Tianyu Empress and broke her hand without waiting for her to speak. Pa! Ah! Amidst the Empress's screams, Luo Qingtong pressed down on her broken hand and stamped a letter she'd prepared. Luo, what are you doing? The Empress of Tianyu's forehead is dripping with sweat, her face contorted in pain. Luo Qingtong put away the letter. Of course it's the annulment. How could Luo Qingtong let Tianyu's imperial family take over her engagement? With this annulment, Yu Wenma can't do anything even if he doesn't want to. She'll also take back the Luo family's token of marriage from Yu Wenma. Chapter 585. Whoosh. Luo Qingtong strode away. Just as Tianyu Empress and Yu Wenxue heaved a sigh of relief, thinking they'd escaped death, Luo Qingtong's voice came from outside. I'll leave the two of them to you. Did you hear what they said just now? Just do as they say. Don't miss a single word. Don't let them die too easily. Luo Qingtong's voice was cold. Yes. Tianyu Empress and Yu Wenxue were horrified, not knowing who Luo Qingtong was talking to. At this moment, Bei Qing and Feng Yu's group appeared. They'd been following Luo Qingtong and protecting her in the dark. Naturally, they'd heard everything and looked at the Tianyu Empress and Yu Wenxue with dangerous gazes. These two vicious women were truly vicious. However, they probably didn't expect that all of these vicious punishments would fall on them in the end. Black Fields people? Tianyu Empress and Yu Wenxue almost fainted when they saw the black field uniforms on Bei Qing and Feng Yu's group. How could this be? Why were there black fields people by Luo Qingtong's side? Didn't they say that black fields people were looking for evil Dr. Ghost Eye everywhere but to no avail? Otherwise, Tianyu's imperial family wouldn't have gotten the portrait of Luo Qingtong and learned that Luo Qingtong was evil Dr. Ghost Eye. But now, why were black fields people by Luo Qingtong's side? Tianyu Empress was so shocked that she almost fainted. Yu Wenxue, on the other hand, was terrified. No. You can't do this to us. I'm the 7th princess of Tianyu's imperial family. My mother is the Empress of Tianyu Empire. My brother is Yu Wenma, a disciple of the Saint Academy of the Empire of Qin. A sky-grade student. A peerless genius. You can't do this to me. She screamed crazily. Our Tianyu imperial family also has connections in the Empire of Qin. And that one. As she spoke, she seemed to have grasped at a life-saving straw and desperately shouted, the noble daughter of the great Yong dynasty's imperial family. Luo, if you dare to touch us, she will definitely not let you off. She admires my brother and wants to be with him. Luo. If it weren't for you holding on to the marriage agreement with my brother, he would have already been together with that noble lady. Who do you think you are? What evil Dr. Ghost Eye? They're nothing in front of her. It's you. You're the one who ruined our Tianyu royal family's advancement. If it wasn't for that, I would already be a princess of the great Yong dynasty. Tianyu's royal family's strength will also rise. Why don't you go and die? Why don't you just die? Yu Wenxue had completely lost her mind and crazily shouted, pushing all the blame onto Luo Qingtong. However, she completely forgot that from the beginning to the end, it was Yu Wenma who didn't agree to break off the engagement. It had nothing to do with Luo Qingtong and the Luo family. Shua. Hearing Yu Wenshue's shouting, Luo Qingtong, who had already walked far away, suddenly appeared in front of her. Looking at the crazed Yu Wenxue in front of her, Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes and suddenly lifted her up by the neck. Who is it? Her voice was cold. That noble daughter of the great Yong dynasty, who is she? Luo Qingtong had always been looking for the person hiding in the great Yong dynasty who had secretly harmed the original owner's eyes. She didn't expect Yu Wenxue to know. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.